Okay. Well, welcome to another episode of UK Karate Podcast. I'm Chris Walsh.
I'm Andy Patton.
And we're very lucky to have Sensei Bob Rhodes with us today and also Sensei Steve Walsh.
Thank you.
How are we doing, Sensei Bob? You all right?
I'm fine, thank you.
And much obliged for the training today. As we were just saying, many of our brains were pickled and not working, but but no, it was enjoyable nonetheless. But so let's take it back. When did Sensei Bob first come across Shotokan karate?
Well, when we were at school, I always liked sport. Played cricket, football, swam, you name it. And then when I left school at 15, I had my mother. A few years later, my mother passed away, so we had 2 children to look after. And it became like, because I could feel that, sports in my blood. I've got to have an activity.
Yeah.
So I went down to a club in centre of Leeds called the Budo. It was Shotokan, but not specifically good instruction. It was more a judo club, Frank Ryder actually. And then I was there for, say, a year and a half, mid-60s. And then I learned about Leeds Shotokan Karate Club. And I befriended a lad there then who we used to go have a drink after training. So we both went up to what was then Leeds Shotokan Karate Club.
Who was the chief instructor back then?
Ronnie Wade.
Right.
Yeah, and funny enough, as soon as I saw him, he was a lad from the area in Roundy, Airles, where I lived as a youngster. So he was the big beefeater of the area. Any trouble going on, he was there.
He was the enforcer.
So I knew him straight away, actually, yeah. Fortunately, maybe.
Yeah. So what age would you have been like when you first started?
21, something like that.
And was there quite a lot of students like when you first went through the door of Leeds Karate?
Yeah. Well, I'd say anything from 15 to 20.
Yeah, and it sort of really like boomed at that point, or was it just
no? That was just well, you had to find these places. We didn't even know that were there. We were up a place called Armley. We only knew Armley because there was a jail up there. And
not going to say the karate club wasn't in there.
No. It was near it. It was near it. We realised because somebody had mentioned that they did fighting. That was the main thing we went to, because in town, the Budokan, no fighting, just Ippon Kumite, that was it. Finish.
Yeah.
The lad, he was a brown belt instructor, I forget his name now, but he was a good instructor, basically, but beyond there. So we were venturing out when we went to Leeds Shotokan Karate Club. In fact, we ventured out that much that I think it was Sensei Kenazawa, it would have been Kenazawa. First grading I took, I'd had a year and a half at Budokan. Mm-hmm. I went straight to green belt.
Right.
Which I thought, great. I thought great because Sensei Wade, Ronnie Wade, I wanted to do some scrapping and he only did it on Wednesday night. And he says, you can't go down there until you're a purple belt.
Right.
And I went, oh, God, I've got to wait that long. So I got my green belt and I thought, next grading. And they kept saying, I said, can't come down on Wednesday. I went, yeah, okay. So I went down there and,
I mean, would you say that you loved it straight? Would you say you took to it straight away? Like when you went.
Yeah, well, I did a lot of sport at school. I think the main thing is coordination.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing what is a hang up to a lot of people is, like today, you get a brain freeze, where he's telling my feet to go, or forward or back or sideways. And doing a lot of sport helped me in that aspect, is I picked things up very fast.
Yeah.
And moved okay, you know. And anyway, continuing on from there, I could go down Wednesday night now. And I went down. First time I went down, I got, are you going to bleep now? Got shit kicked out. And I thought, oh my
an upstart
God, what have I done, you know? Anyway, went for the shower. And I'm just heading out the door, and another good instructor there was Dave Parkin. He said, hey, Bob, he said, you fancy going for a drink after, over at Rhodes? And I went, okay. And I went over and chatted to these so-called thugs from the club and thought, well, they're not bad lads, you know. I think this must be like, you know, the yin and yang of a person. To get in the dojo, that's it. Come out, normal person.
Yeah.
And that, just because he turned around to me then at that vital point of me going, oh, do I really want to come down again? They changed it for me.
Yeah.
You know. And that was it. I were in.
But having, like you said, like that first session, and like, you know, taking a few licks like on that first session, do you think like if it wasn't like for going for the beer, do you think like, well, it's not from, you know, do you think you would have gone back even without the camaraderie, you know, of going for a beer afterwards? Or it just sort of, it just helps? Like?
No, it helped. It eased the pain a bit, you know. But it was something that you got a person in front of you who's tapping here, there and everywhere, and then give you a good dig or whatever. And you're not being able to do anything about it, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you could and sometimes you couldn't. And that was the most frustrating part, because before I did karate, I did the year's boxing.
Right.
So I knew about taking a hit and this, that and the other. It was catching me and keep catching me. I think I tore to some ligaments in a couple of fingers trying to block my gari, you know, and stuff like that. It's like initiation, you know?
Yeah.
And after that, you just build up from there and there and there, you know. But I had two good instructors. I had Ronnie Wade and I had Dave Parkin. And there was another, I can't remember his name, I think he was an Indian lad, and he was very good at Kata. Yeah. So in that club, there was that skill set there, you know, already.
When obviously going in from all the sports that you've done and doing boxing and things like that, and then what did you make to sort of like doing kata and things like that? You know, like for the first, I guess. For
I
like
took
the first
it all
time.
on board. Just you know, it were all part and parcel to me. It was more like I'd done weight training, you name it. When I left school, I was still active, you know, and it was the physical exercise that was really good about it. You got sweat on. I mean, I used to come down to Grantham, we were like ringing at the end of the day. And that was, including me, not just the students. That was like, you know, the physical exercise of it was great, you know, I mean.
And again, like you were saying before the podcast, again, like about when you said, oh, like when Leeds, if they came to Grantham, or like, you know, or vice versa, I imagine that, you know, when you stepped in the dojo, a bit like that again, the mindset of change. Oh, this is going to be a session. This is, or like you say, like the hairs on the back, maybe on the back of the neck, coming up. It seems to me that training, sort of like back then, and even as a young kid training at Grantham, that remembering sessions sort of like that. Do you feel that that's changed? Like, you know, changed through the years? Because even I would say that
it's changed tremendously. Even when we went to Grantham or anywhere at that specific time era, it's like you go to lead shoot. I used to go in, I'm the instructor, right? And I used to go in there and feel, I could feel like, you know, there's people in
the
there.
The energy in the air.
There's a bit of electricity that people want to train, they want to get stuck in.
Every session, you were sweating.
Yeah.
I mean sweating, not just a little tinkle on the forehead. I mean real sweating sessions. And
it was that mindset of people being there, though, wasn't it? Like you went there.
You've got to. I was a person who didn't lead by talking about it. I led by doing it physically. So everything at my club they did, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 there, 5 back. I was doing it with them.
Yes.
You know. So as I said earlier on, I had this thing about exercise, physical driving, right? And it's great. I mean, it's like when you go to the gym, you can go on your own and you can do a certain amount, but if you've got a mate with you who's going like that, you get loads more out of it, you know. And that was me with the club. I had all them thinking, right, I'm in front, I'm going to lead the way, you know. Yeah. And a lot of people come from Bradford or Sheffield, they're all like that, people surrounding towns and that. They come along and I said, why don't you track yourself here? And one lad, Norman Gummersall, I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I know Norman,
Norman,
yeah, it's a good lad.
No. I said that to him and he says, Bob, he says, I've never seen anybody do what we do, an instructor in front of the class. You do everything we do. And that's like a leading force, really.
Yeah. You introduced me to Norman at Crystal Palace
the
first year. And it was one of those occasions where we met up at 7, went down for a run in the park.
Oh, yeah.
Before breakfast.
An hour before.
Yeah. And then
the infamous run in the park.
Yeah.
That first time was brutal.
That was to get over the headache of 7 pints the previous night.
For the Paxton Arms.
Yeah, that was great.
But I mean, do you think again that physical and mental approach, what people had to the dojo, then in some obviously people still do have it now, but even I would say it's different now. Like there's not.
Do you know why? Because people generation now, that's all their exercise is.
On the computer.
We used to go out, we used to be out on the bikes, few miles, go walking, you name it, play football in the street, exercise all the time. What exercise do kids get now? Unless you really force them out the door and swimming, you name it. Yeah. It was like, I don't know what that is like at school now. What's it like with your kids at school now?
I mean, like with mine being 12 and 10. I mean, if you let them, they'd be on gadgets and things like that all day. You do, you know, it's a balancing act because it's woven into life now that people are using phones and technology. But it's
so you're not getting that mindset into kids now that they've got to go out.
Yeah, and it's non-negotiable really. Like with me and the mother, that they've got to do something. So like they do karate.
Yeah.
Do they 100% enjoy it? I'd probably say no. But they're here. They're doing it. They've never
click.
They've never once said.
Did you enjoy it when I used to take
no.
you?
No. I thank you for it.
I could tell that. You were dragging him in there.
But I thank you for it now.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. I can look back and say, like, and I have done, like, thank you for dragging me there because it wasn't until later on where the spark did go, and I was like, I enjoy this, you know. But I'd say with the kids nowadays, like, they have to come here. I say have to. If they really, really said, don't want to do it, hate it, don't want to do it anymore. So
you can't afford it.
It would be, okay, what we're doing instead.
Yeah.
You know, like the youngest does swimming, doing really well at that. The eldest is doing football. He's okay. He's doing exercise. you know, I'm an honest parent. He isn't going to be the next Eric Cantona or anything like that. But he's out training and he's out playing games.
Yeah.
He's keeping fit. He's doing something. That's what, an hour to an hour and a half where he's not.
And competitive sport's good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
You've got the karate where it's you, and then you've got like the team sport like the football. Okay, the youngest swimming. He does do relays for the
my youngest son, he does his he has a fitness business now, private tuition and that.
Yeah.
But also is it triathlon?
Yeah.
Biking, running, and swimming.
Yeah.
He does that as well.
I think it's there's so many things. I mean, a bit like you said, you were trying all these sports. I mean, I felt like when I was at school, there wasn't. I don't know. It just seemed like there was football, maybe. Like there was rugby, but there's so many things now to try for kids. So if they don't like one thing, right? Well, let's go and try it. Let's try it. Hopefully, I think with the younger generation, you'll find something that sticks. But I just think it's very easy, or you've probably noticed it as well. It's very easy for parents to, I think, just go, oh, he's not enjoying it at the minute. And then they just take him out.
I don't get that. I get parents come along and go,
babysit.
Yes.
I'm off.
Yeah, see you later.
See you later.
It's your responsibility.
Well,
and kids are there who don't want to be there, you know.
Yeah. But as instructors of clubs, you know, you must have seen, you know, you'll have seen that time and time again, right?
Yeah, there's many.
And again, I mean, I don't know what you used to. I can't remember what you used to charge for Grantham back in the day. Was it like for a session £3?
Yeah.
So three quid for what, an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Yeah.
No brainer for a parent, is it? Oh, there you go. That's...
You were only paying me £3.
No, we had to sort of raid the bank to pay.
All right.
But so it's, I think anything you can do to get kids away, you know, get them to switch off from technology and do physical exercise, because I just think they're going to be. I think it's going to be a real problem, like down the line.
I do,
because I think they won't have any way of regulating emotion or anything like that as well. That's probably why you're seeing stuff like that. So it's
a battle in a way.
Constant battle. Yeah.
Definitely.
So when did you see the boom time of karate start?
Boom time. Well, it was always going to be exactly the same at the club. Nothing changed, but the intake of people was when Bruce Lee did his pictures. And they're all going about Bruce Lee. And I'm going, yeah, I've seen a couple of his pictures and this and that. Because before Bruce Lee came out, I were on the squad. And when we went down to Sensei Noida's club, after training, we'd go for something to eat and then go to the cinema, Chinese cinema.
Mm.
So we all saw all these kung fu films, come out laughing his heads off and giving me all that, you know. So we knew about these films, but it was a bit more refined when Bruce Lee did the films, like. And of course, when he come on, they're all going, oh, boosters, you know, people coming in and this and the other. And they had it on in Leeds, and I'm waiting. I'm thinking, I wonder when they're going to come down, you know. Anyway, all of a sudden, this influx.
It's like a massive influx.
It was just like, I ended up, for a year, I had two 2-hour classes, or 2 hour and a half classes, with 80 in each class.
Yeah.
I went through in 1 year 700 students.
Wow.
That's unbelievable, isn't
it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
That is like... but with having that regime, I still burn them out, you know?
Yeah.
They come and they're all not in for beasting or all like that. And we've got all sorts of people coming along and, you know, like street fight, pub for brawlers and this and the other. And they go, can't handle you lads. And it was an eye-opener that all these people, not just generally sports people, but people who thought, I can handle myself, you know.
Yeah.
And we ended up normally about 30 people, 35 people. But 700 in the year is a lot.
It is, yeah.
I counted them up, especially. I used to get home, because they were only like 30 pence a go, 35p.
Oh, wow.
And I used to go home and there was a big pile of toilets there. You know?
Pile of shrapnel.
Count this out.
Yeah.
And that was, he was a good booster, and he got a lot of people to know about karate. But as far as the change in the club, there were no change, it was still the same.
Yeah, just the same, yeah.
There were no need for a change, just that we got through a lot of people.
Yeah. You mentioned obviously Sensei Inoue there. So what year? When did you first meet Sensei Inoue?
That's a tale in itself. Because we had Kanazawa a few times, a sensei called Sumi, Takashi.
So was Kanazawa, was you SKI at the time? Or was that
No,
just
it was in KGB at that time, yeah. Very early on, you know, because they had that split then.
Yes, yeah.
Formed SKI, yeah. Sensei Inoue. We asked for Sensei Inoue to come. There were, I can't remember her name, one of the female students was secretary then. And we asked for Sensei Inoue and we got Kata, which, you know, was like, I think there was definitely 3 of us wanted to take a show down, which we could take him at his club down.
Yeah.
And we thought, oh, I've got Kata, you know, he's not going to take us. But he took us for a showdown, failed all 3 of us.
Lovely.
Our instructor, Ronnie, just went apeshit, you know, because we couldn't... I mean, some were good and some were good and some were good. And out of the 3 of us, he just couldn't fail us, really. And he failed because he couldn't pass us.
Oh, right.
Oh,
So he actually couldn't, he didn't have the authority to pass.
He didn't have the authority,
right.
but he made us do the grading.
Oh.
What?
Oh, okay.
I never got over... I mean, I thought he was a fantastic technician, Kato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In here, bit devious, you know?
Well, was that
at least
purely financial thing then?
Oh, yeah. Well, he took expenses from London to here and back off us. And then he went to Sheffield and did the same.
Ugh.
Oh.
So, no disrespect to him or all that. That's just what happened
Yeah.
at that specific time, you know. So, I suppose they had a few disagreements and the history is that he left KGB. But I took over as secretary because she got the ump or whatever about him not coming and blah, blah, blah. So I said, I'll do the job, you know. So I rung up Mrs. Buck.
Oh, Mrs. Buck.
And I says, look, would like to get Sensei Inoue up for a training week and grading. Oh, okay. And I says, I'm going to tell you now, if Sensei Inoue can't come, you send nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So next 3 months later, like, Sensei Inoue comes up. He's gone. You know, it can be, you know. We missed him at the station.
Oh,
We were
no.
supposed to pick him up. Anyway, he found out where we were. And he's outside. And, oh, my God. Nobody picked him up now. So he were in a hump to start off with. Anyway, we had this training session, you know. Nearly steam coming off us and God knows what, you know. Great session, you know. And he went, no grading this time, next time. I went, oh, fair enough. And then we went to pub after. So we're sat in pub there, and I'm sat behind him. And he's got his pint of shandy and he's gone. And who's this Bob? And they all pointed at me and I went, all right.
Your card's marked.
But in them days as well, you know, we had Kanazawa and Sumi and Takashi and Sensei and Noda. We had them for a week, not a weekend.
Yeah.
5 days of training, and then fifth one.
And this was all at the club? This was all at the club?
All at the club.
Wow.
5 days, and then a short session on Friday, and then grading. That doesn't happen now.
No.
We had it every time we had the grading. So 3 or 4 times a year, we would have a Japanese sensei taking us for a week.
And were you expected to do all of those sessions as well?
Yeah. Oh no, there was no skipping here and skipping there. No. You had to be down there and training.
And I know we say this, and again for most people who train with Sensei Noida, but like, did he have that presence that he had even back then?
Always, yeah, always. I mean, just looking at him, you knew, you know, don't wrong. I mean, I remember we were doing a combination ended, and I was looking at my fist and looking at that because I knew he was at back of me. I'm thinking, I hope I'm all right. And one sad point, really, because it was my mate, Tommy. We were doing Tech Showdown. And we're doing the punches at the end there. And Sensei Noida comes from one end, passes Tommy, and goes to the other. So Tommy goes, and of course Sensei Noida could hardly speak any English, then you? And of course Tommy's going, what are you saying? You? Anyway, kicks him in the guts. Head. And he could have just said, you know, look that way. Like. But that was Sensei, you know, brute force or nothing. Yeah. We're off for a couple of weeks then, Tommy. Always. But he was great to have that presence, you know.
Yeah. But it just got the bit.
He wanted to train.
So I would say even as a young kid, I probably wasn't training that. But you didn't want to make a mistake. You wanted to obviously.
I train hard through the week. 7 months, 3 months before the grading or whatever, you know. I can guarantee I'm aching all over when I train with a sensei.
Yeah.
It's just that little bit extra you're gonna do just to make it right, you know.
Is that did Sensei Noida stand out just even against Kanazawa? You know, all the other different instructors,
they all had
their
I think
way.
Sensei Noida were like, you know, it's like how can I put it? A praying mantis, right, comes up and does all that, then snaps his head off, or partner's head off. That's Kanazawa. Then you've got a raging bull that stands in front of you and he's going to flatten you just by running over you. That's Sensei Noida. So you had the two differences, two styles, different, very technical was Kanazawa, very technical. And strong, but you had that power of what radiated really from an Noida sensei. And
obviously from you, like first meeting him, training with him, and obviously grading, like did you think this is, I want to, I'll not follow this man, but this is like the direction I want to go, I want to go.
Yeah, this man sort of, he was stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had him every grading from then on.
And like, how tough were the gradings back then?
Tough. But it's like I was saying about earlier on after training was that it's not a matter of how tough were the grading. It's a matter of how hard did you train in the grading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the difference between it.
Yeah.
As I say, you can't
You're accountable to yourself.
Yes.
You have to be accountable to yourself.
Oh, yeah,
for the effort
exactly.
That,
So, there were our gradings because we made them hard.
Yeah.
as physically as ourselves, you know. Yeah, it was.
And what would you say the comparison from then to now?
One is, I can't remember the last time I beasted somebody, you know, because no, it's we've got a different protocol as far as due care and attention to your students. And this, that, and the other. Whereas early on, you went through that door with. I don't think we had insurances then. No. I'm not too sure. You took what was going. You stepped through that door. You're doing karate. That is it.
That's. I mean,
now have you got insurance? Have you got this? Have you got that?
You've got safeguarding officers. You've got to be so.
I mean, it almost the stuff that with insurance almost I'd say like almost kills it off a bit now because that was again. I
think you should have insurance,
but
you should understand that karate is karate.
Yeah,
it's and very how often. I mean, that was the air standing up on back of your neck when you went into a dojo. Is am I going to come out in one piece?
Yeah, but it was
survival.
But it was.
Isn't it?
I think obviously, young kids probably don't obviously understand that, but obviously adults going in there. Again, there's like. Always every training session, I always understood that I could probably get injured or I could probably get hurt. Yeah. And I've put myself there though.
Exactly.
I've made that decision.
Exactly.
Obviously, no one wants to get really badly hurt. And yes, having some insurance there in case, again, nowadays.
But I think creatively wise over the years, it's gone past that. I'm putting myself in there no matter what's going to happen. Yeah. Now it's, I'll try it and I'll see what's going to happen. And you do a sundering gakuzuki or oizuki to somebody and they get a little bruise on the lip or tap on the nose and
it's changed, hasn't it? In a way,
it's changed.
But I would say like we're saying that obviously about karate, but I've got friends that do boxing and things like that, and it's like I don't know. Like, do boxers have this same conversation? Because you're going in there and you're sparring, and they're knocking lumps out of each other in sparring, and I'm like,
me and my partner Debbie, we were watching women's boxing. I think it were on about what day we're on now.
It was on Sunday, wasn't it? The World Championship fights last weekend.
Sunday then, and there were a Brazilian girl. She was short, wasn't she? But she must have practiced. Really and truthfully, somebody hitting in your head for 3 minutes ago because she was relentless that way. No matter how hard this other opponent hit her, and she hit her because she won. But that Brazilian girl was like, you couldn't stop her.
Well, I mean, when we had Sensei Matt Price was on, he says it's in a way, he says obviously no one wants to get hit or hurt, I guess, but he says even in training, he says every now and again, if he gets clocked in the mouth or anything like that, he says it's good to know what it feels like. So when when it does happen, you know how to react, you know how to deal with it.
9 times out of 10, when you get clipped or anything like, unless it's a real swanner from you don't even see it coming, it's shock.
Yeah,
shock more than damage. And you've got to know how to cope with that shock. Yeah, it's a bit like not on the same drills, but when I tell people to do go on Kumite 5-step, I say, look, you've got to be in touching distance. Other than that, it don't work because you've got to be an intimidating distance where somebody can hit you. That's where you learn to react sharply. Yeah, not. 3 or 4 foot away because you've got all that time before they reach you. In front, touching, just your arm's length, is like they take a swing, that's it. And you should always train that way to understand what it feels. Not the hit thing, but understand the
threat of it.
The threatening feeling,
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It's a mind thing.
It is,
because you can show kids, and it was like you can say punch true, punch to the face, and it'll be either side not. Again, but as adults, it's like, yes, punch. You've got to make me feel like you're gonna hit me. I've got to want to get.
Well, I say to my students, look, you're at a club, and you should, even when you go out of the club, do exactly the same, or have the same exact feeling is, you're doing oizuki, you're doing agiyuki. You're going to do oizuki like you want to take his head off.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
You're going to do agiyuki to stop him from taking your head off.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, then this person is not letting himself down, he's letting him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he will not know how to defend against somebody with a real punch because this person's not doing it. So to let each other down, and I says, look, you've got to, yin and yang, you've got to help each other. And I says, you don't help it by making things easy for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, do you still feel like five-step sparring does have a place within
of course
training?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you get black belts doing 5-step sparring and tell me you don't have to work. Do what?
No, I mean, I think it's because I've been. It's just one of those things I've been up and down with, like 5-step sparring, especially like, again, trying to teach kids, because it does feel like you're trying to herd cats, like in that. Again, trying to I think it's just trying to explain, like you've just said to them, like, look, you're letting each other down if you don't try. Adults is different.
No, well, it's the same with adults.
I would say
it's exactly the same with it. In fact, they should understand it more.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something then, but leave it.
I think it's mindset, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, people always say to me, Bob Rhodes, he doesn't like kids.
You couldn't eat too, could you?
It's untrue, that. I do like kids, if they do as they're told. But I've thought this for years and years, because when I were at Leeds, we had a kids' class.
Yeah.
But only from 13 years up.
Yeah.
Because I worked it out that if you spend 3 years teaching a person to be really good and get a showdown, that person is now 16. He starts to mature a bit, develop, and that leads on to, hopefully, a good student. You have a child who's anything from, I don't know what age you take.
I always say I always used to take a leaf out of your book, was like 7 would be ideal, like 6 sometimes. I mean, I think I started around about
to 6. Me, I'm not criticising anybody when I say this, is that it's a money thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a lot of people, unfortunately, get corralled into this thing through you've got to pay a lot of rent.
Right.
Where do I get the money from? I keep saying to Debbie, you'll have to start a kids class because you're not paying me. But it's not to do with money. It's to do with the development.
Yeah. I would always say even like I would say like attention spans and everything and then like that. You'll get. I mean, we've seen it with the old club that we're involved with. Like that, there was the odd few exceptions that I would say that they'd start quite young, and when you look at them doing everything, the Kion, the Kata, the Kumite, they make it look nice. They're probably just missing that little bit of maybe aggression, but everything what they're doing looks good.
I think I get the financial aspect of having a kids class, because our kids class at Grantham really financed the adults class. Because and that was beneficial to us, because we could pay for the dojo through only having a few less adults.
Because you never used to get kids.
No, that's been through the podcast from talking to people who started, like when you started. I'm sure like when you started, there probably wasn't.
No, there were no kids. No. And then even when you're sort of advertising it, it got a bit more like when Bruce Lee come along and stuff like that. It was always nobody below 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always 13.
I can't remember any kids when I first started.
Yeah. And I kept it that way because of, you know, when I do things, I do really think about things. People probably don't think I do because I just say, do this and do that and blah, blah, blah. And there's a thought behind everything I tell somebody to do, or in a fashion how I construct things. And that is my construction as far as age of a person is 13, 3 years, 16, and then whereas you get 7 to 10, he's not going to mature for another 6 years.
Yeah.
So even though he's good, he's not that person.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas you started that and then they develop and then it just goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just continues through.
No.
Yeah.
But then I suppose, like, going back to what we were saying before, like, kids either on computers and that, okay, they weren't really their computers then, I suppose, in a sense. But like even if you've got kids doing karate, at least they're doing, they're doing something. They are learning something. So I suppose that's maybe a flip side to that.
Yeah.
To that, yeah.
It's great for parents.
Yeah, definitely. So just on that point there, Sensei, so you've had like students who don't perhaps want to be there because the parents have just been like, right, well, free babysitting. How have you managed those students?
Well, we don't have a kids class. They join in. We take them to one side so they know the fundamentals of what's going to be asked of them, very basically. And then they join in. I don't like it really, but that's the way it is. But, I've had some, well, hopefully we've got rid of them. But we should never have let him get there, really, and truthfully, unless we had if you've got a kids class, great. If you haven't got a kids class and they're joining in with the rest of, like today, well, it was just an hour and a half for everybody, really. But it's unfortunate that if you want to swap around or all like that, you're going to start thinking you're going to stay with them and you're going to stay with them.
Yeah.
And it's difficult because all the time you're trying to manoeuvre people, that's 5 minutes out of your training session, or people are cooling down, or things like that. So they do exactly what the rest are doing.
Yeah.
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 No leeways.
No, rightly so, yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, I suppose we're quite lucky in the sense that we've got some of the kids we've got. Don't get me wrong. Some can mess about and do mess about, but a lot of them they do seem to want to be here, and we've been quite lucky really. They want to be here, and they
I
will
think
train.
there's a little bit of skill towards herding kids together and getting them to do karate and stuff like that. Yeah.
But it's difficult when you've got a mixed class like that to try and energise the whole class. Like Bob says, you've got higher grades cooling down. Probably not. You're trying to bring everybody up to that standard. And it's so difficult.
And then time's ticking away before you know it.
Yeah.
Your session's over, isn't it?
As soon as you go over to a kid because he's lacking behind, that's 2 or 3, 5 minutes off their training session.
Yeah.
Which I don't like particularly, but there they go. And that's why people say, Bob Rhodes doesn't like kids. I do like kids. I just don't like them in the senior class.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true enough.
Thinking about obviously the lessons again from when you were first starting in grading or got your Shodan, what lessons from those days still, I would say, like still live in your teaching today? Is there any stuff from back then that you would say is still paramount, like in your teaching and training now?
No, it's only knowledge you accumulate when you start off and you get to a certain level, which probably started as Shodan, is that if Sensei United said this, a good tree has good roots. Without good roots, that tree's going to fall over. But them roots are the same whether it's popular, oak, this, that and the other. different varieties of trees. They've still got to have that foundation. And if you get good foundation, then all you're doing is manipulating your techniques into what you want them to do. And you keep them strong and sharp.
Yeah. And when did you first? I know we've talked previously, like about that. You know, you've used the makiwara like quite a bit. So who sort of first introduced you to using the makiwara?
One of them things that if you looked at martial arts, then you could get books and do a makiwara boards in it. You know, so I'm going to do this. And I actually had the first. When I got first married, I had like a through terrace house, and it had like an outhouse coal shed.
Yeah.
And I put my first makiwara. I used to do makiwara training every day, both hands, blah blah blah. 50 a go, you know, on each hand. 10 a time. It's true as this until I got to a point where I suddenly realised this wall I'm in. Because it stands off like that, then it's the wall. Yeah. It's the wall. And none of this, I've seen it on Facebook, and this I'm tapping. You look at people who are real good people who are showing people how to do makiwara training, you don't tap it.
No.
There's no such thing as tapping. You hit it because it's strengthening this. It's making calluses on your knuckles, and that's what it's all about. Yeah. You'll never see. Have you seen Japanese training on makiwara?
Yeah.
They hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is the point of it. Anyway, getting back to the point of mine was I kept hitting it, and the back of it kept hitting the wall.
Oh, right? So you're getting like a bit of more.
No, after a while, the wall going like that. But that is a very well, you know, no matter what we're going to do in life, we're going to end up having some sort of arthritis or God knows what going on. The older you get, the more you get it. Is that it's the most sincere way you can understand what power you've got in your hand or your arm or your technique doing gakuzukis or chokuzukis or whatever without actually hitting somebody, you know?
Yeah.
That is because you get that sense of feeling when you do when you're hitting it really good, that this can do some damage, you know.
Did you make your own makiwara, or did you buy it, like order it from?
I made my own to start off with, but I've still got one in the cellar at home.
Yeah,
I just got nowhere to put it, and I think if there were one there, I would use it.
Yeah,
they are so self-assuring of what technique you can do.
Yeah,
really good.
It's I think it's one of those things. I mean, I've got one in the garden that I put in the ground, but I ended up making it myself, to finding online someone who like how to make one, basically, because I kept looking, trying to find.
It's just like a spring, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just a number of.
It's just a tape, like basically, like the basically tapered with some cross sections. So when you dig it and put it in the ground, I think it was just like put a brick in the ground. Then basically you could put I made mine a bit too solid in the ground. I think I put some postcrete in, so it's like it was a bit the spring. It didn't have a massive amount of spring, so mine when you hit it, like don't move. It doesn't move as far.
Actually,
as it
Chris, you're supposed to put them up against the wall.
Try and knock the wall down.
But yeah, I mean, even so, I've like put mine in and definitely sealed it in the ground too well. But like I totally agree with what you're saying. Like just getting that feedback.
Yeah.
Because it
wasn't
something.
Don't do your hands any good, like that. It gives you a good buzz. It gives you a good buzz when you're doing that. Yeah.
Because I think it's something that, I mean, I don't remember you didn't. I don't think you had one, did you? No. So it was only something like later on that I was like, I'm going to have a go at making one of these, and
the thing is, you can relate. You know, when you actually partnered up with something, you can relate that power.
Yeah.
Even though you're not hitting somebody or you're close to, you know, you can put the same feeling, the same technique there, understanding that,
But so when you got your Shodan, were the courses at Crystal Palace a thing sort of then, or are they not come around just yet? You know, like the
the summer course.
The summer,
course,
the summer or spring course.
Yeah, around about that era. Yeah.
And I remember you were saying, obviously, today that they used to be, was it like a week long?
A week long,
Yeah. I still can't get my head around that, like a week long.
A week and 2 sessions a day.
Yeah.
2 sessions a day? Wow.
Got to the Wednesday and your feet were like sandpaper.
Wednesday, yeah.
Oh.
Wednesday, always Wednesday. You're like...
It was so painful on your feet.
Yeah,
you just
I
couldn't
just
believe
felt
that,
like
all that excessive training and pushing yourself with the Japanese instructors. You know, you'd...
And they, I don't know whether they are the same now. I don't think they are the same as when, you know, first Crystal Palace created and that. Is that, I mean, I remember, I don't know if you were there that time, Steve, Tanaka.
Yeah.
He had his bunny hops or duck walking, maigaris, duck walking from one side to the other, then duck walking, mawashigaris.
Oh.
And I tell you what, there were 2/3 at least of people out there. I was still doing it. But that was me done for a week. My legs were like, I don't want to know anything that involves leg movement or anything. Oh, it was mad. But they all had the little things, you know.
Yeah.
What was the floor like at Crystal Palace? Was it
a
relative?
wooden floor, but you think of probably, I don't know, 150 folk there bringing the dust in and things like that. It just created like Bob says, Wednesday was the worst day for your feet or for your body because you'd beasted yourself, or they'd beasted you for 2 days, and your third day was just get through that, and then you've got Thursday afternoon off.
Thursday were 3 hours, wasn't it? With a little break, and then you could have the afternoon off,
Oh, they let you have the afternoon off. That's
nice of them, wasn't it?
Then it was training Friday morning.
Then Friday down in cricket hall, wasn't it?
Yeah,
with, slipping mats
Friday afternoon. And then the championships on Saturday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was there anyone, sort of, obviously again, being instructed by Sensei Noida and stuff still, but was there any of the visiting instructors that really stuck out, even to this day,
Yeah, I mean, Shirai was one. I mean, his techniques were phenomenal. And he didn't seem to be, trained, did he? He just had that...
just seemed effortless.
You used to say that about Kawazoe, though. You said that, he was just
a technician. He was the...
and Well, I've always been a little rogue, really.
I don't believe it.
On, how we should do things, or should we do it that way or that way. I've always stuck my hand up, and the big sort of change in formality was when Yahara come along. Now, I loved him because he didn't formally do things. He went, this is the way I do this.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, I can see that. People think about things and they're not doing it to be sort of different, even though it is different.
Yeah. Wait.
They're doing it because it creates that movement a bit more fluent to what they're doing. Like the drop down in Unsu, the Moashigari, and instead of coming down and lumping your body over, he did Moashigari, bring it down, took it underneath your body and rolled over and did the opposite Moashigari. It took the skin off his feet when we were doing it, top of your foot, because it was scraping on the floor. But what a smooth way of doing it, know. Yeah. And
it's amazing hearing, again, because I remember obviously when we did your podcast, obviously about again when we sat and talked about Yahara before, and I know Phil said the same. He says that was when Yahara came over. It was just a bit mind blowing, really.
Yeah,
how
because he wasn't different. It's a different technique or a different application of what he wanted you to do.
Yeah,
which was.
Or do you think it was more like that? It suited his body, or he
just thought about the things, I mean, I get up and I think, right, we're going to do this. It's a little simple thing like today. I says, move your back foot, move your front foot, shiriash, get closer, move off. it's a natural thing that you want to do. And you've got to go, when we're doing it and putting it together, it says, all right, you get to this point and you do that and you think, oh, I feel like a little bit of sweeping and punching. Or it's trying to be natural more than...
Yeah, rather than just rigid and regimented.
Exactly,
try whatever flows. Yeah,
be a bit more flow.
I think that was it with Yahara's bunkai in Unsu.
Yeah.
His ability to go from stud to the floor, Mawashigari to the stomach or to the groin.
Yeah,
which like Bob says, then to flick his hips over to go the reverse.
It was so fast, to do it that way. And really, the sad part about the involvement of, especially Kata, is that a lot of changes in our Kata, or at the time we were in the KGB, was created from competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not from a development that we think, oh, well, we should do it this way or this way. It was like trying to be a regimental way of doing it from competition, i.e. Europeans or World Championships. No, we've got to do it this way. But, that's somebody else from another style, not the same style, from another country, telling you, well, you're going to go back and tell your association, just because of a competition which happens once every 2 years or whatever, that we're going to do it. That, to me, that's static. It's not free-flowing.
Yeah.
And the 9 times out of 10, they're going to do that change because to help the referees understand who's made a mistake, who hasn't made a mistake.
Yeah.
In other words, they're looking for mistakes and not looking at the kata.
Right.
A good referee should be able to tell whether it's a good kata or not, and maybe he's applying a technique a different way. It doesn't matter as long as that kata, to you, feels like he's done a really good kata there. He might not be like that one or that one, but he's done a good kata. And that's what people should be looking for.
Yeah.
And you should be able to develop that. I mean, I'd been at Chris Palace, Yahara, or people like that, and I'm going back and I'm going, I've got all... 2 or 3 times I've gone back to the club and gone, I've got this knowledge, and I want to show it, and I want my students to practice it, but it won't be allowed in the KGB if they get up in front of a referee and they don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's education to the referees, like you say.
So you're keeping a lot back. When you see Yara doing this, you go, that's how we're going to do Unsu,
Yeah.
Or many other people who do the katas. He's like, because they're from Japan and they're from different associations, might be doing the Anshodan different.
Yeah.
You understand? They all come together, so you got him in a line there, he's doing the show, but they're slightly different to that one.
Yeah.
But when you go back to your club, that's the one.
Right, yeah.
You've got no...
I mean, I remember, I'm sure I remember it was either on I remember hearing you say sometime either on a podcast or something, you were going on about, I think you were judging, was it like a team kata of some sort? But I don't know if it was was it like a mixed martial arts?
No, it was, it wasn't mixed. It was different countries doing it differently.
Yes, yeah.
And it was a Czech Republic or something like that got up to do, and I'm looking at it. I wasn't refereeing actually. I was outside watching, and I could barely just see the outlines of Ungetsu.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way they did it. And I thought, that's Ungetsu, different way of doing it, but it was like, for a team kata, it was spot on. And they all marked it down, and the crowd just booed, because even they could see it was a good, brilliant team kata. They didn't understand. So instead of looking at it going, that's team kata.
Yeah.
I don't care whether he's poking his nose up there. That is a team kata, and it deserves a good point.
Yeah. I remember you saying, like at the Newark, when you did the Newark Open, you'd get, is it like some of the Wadaru or Shitoru?
Shotokai, all doing different kata. I mean, Bob came and judged.
I remember you saying we did one of one of the Wado guys or something. He won it one year, or won the kata one year. But it's saying like again, there'd be a kata there that you got as a Shotokan you've like never seen before, but what he was doing, you know what
it's about, body movement and this and the other. We had one in Leeds. We did a friendly one, just like a Yorkshire or surrounding areas next to Leeds, and this kung fu group had joined in, so they all joined in, and Frankie Leo was really, really good kata man. And he come to the end of the kata, right? And these two were there, the Kung Fu and Frankie Leo from that club. They both did the katas. I think Frankie did Sochin, and this other lad did something what had about 1,000 kicks in it. But I could see that he was really good, this guy. And I was like, I thought, and I knew Frankie, maybe, I don't think I was biased. I try not to be biased when I'm refereeing. And I went, a draw. And I thought, if that guy can do that kata again, with all the kicks and that, he's going to win it.
Yeah.
So Frankie got up, did perfect kata. This guy got up, halfway through, forgot it. So whether people, you don't know from other styles, whether they stick things in here to make it glorious or whatever.
Maybe he made it up on the spot on the first
you never know.
Classic improvisation there.
Yeah, probably I was hoping he's going to make a mistake. But he did make a mistake, and that resolved the problem, But he should be not... If you understand karate and body movement and kime, especially kime, is that's what you should be looking for. And not,
it's so difficult.
A lot of these when or doing some refereeing for nationals for HDKI, doing Shishuru katas and doing all this. You can tell when somebody's and some people were going, it's very hard to referee them. I says, no, it's not. I says, it's same principle. They've got to have that end product. They don't have the end product. And that's why you see a lot of these shit-room katas that come up. And all this is very flimsy. Then they get to basics and do it. That's no good. It's got to be all controlled, you know?
Yeah.
So no matter what kata they're doing, that is a principle, is you look at the technique. Is it a good technique? Is it kime? Tension?
Yeah.
It's definitely.
It's that thing with, I mean, again, who'd want to be a referee at times, right?
Yeah, true. Very true.
It is, very difficult. And I like, even when I've just dipped my toe into, when I was starting just to try and get into it a bit after competing and stuff like that, I mean, I feel like I've seen a fair few Heian Shodans, but I'm sure I'm sure you've seen way more. but it's very difficult, and that education to the referees. And if you've had referees that maybe, I don't know, that have never competed.
Well, we were having a discussion the other day. I can't remember where it was about refereeing. Who were I talking to now? I think it was a Shotokan Connect competition, and they were talking to either Robin or something like that. And I says, the best referees are the people who compete. They understand what they're looking for because they've been there.
Yeah.
They've tried it with the katas, they've seen performances, they've got that experience. People who get to a certain level in downgrade or whatever, and then decide, oh, I think I'll start doing some refereeing.
No, I've always...
I agree.
Don't have that head there. It's all right saying, well, I think. You haven't got to think. It's got to be instinct.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that again. Either if it's Kumite that flag goes, it has to be instant.
Yeah.
You can't if you. I remember even when I was starting out, and again, I was maybe like literally a fraction of a second putting the flag out, and I'd got someone watching me doing it, and it was like, you've got to be quicker than that, Chris.
Yeah.
You know, because the decision has to be.
Precise. Yeah, you've got to see it and feel it and everything, yeah.
It's fairly topical at the minute because I think on the socials there was, I think Greg Heggett Sensei put a picture of a video of Ronnie and Owen Hall fighting nationals. Ronnie won it at the end. Fantastic fight. But then Matt Cove commented, he said, well, yeah, I was there, I remember it. This is Sean Roberts and Frank went against each other in the final for the Kata, and Frank won it. It's fantastic Kata. But that year, all of us sat there thought Sean had won it.
He won it next following year.
Yeah. It was fantastic. Yeah, but what a year that was for competition.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like I'm going to say it's difficult, but it's not difficult as long as you're honest about your opinion of what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you can't see everything.
No.
And sometimes people are afraid, not like me, I'll go, just hold on. But just to give I mean, I also remember at Shotokan Cup once, I don't know, finals, semi-finals, somebody swept somebody and punched, but the punch missed. But the glorification is he swept him and the punch stuck his arm out. And I went, no. They're all going hip on, and I'm going, no. Says the punch didn't reach the body. Yeah. Lovely sweep, but he didn't finish it. Yeah. So no point.
Yeah. I bet you were the flavour.
Yeah, that raised a few eyebrows, didn't it?
They always have. They always go, no.
Bob's got something to say.
But then again, but then that's it.
But if you don't say it,
but I think you're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly that. You've got to stick with your opinion. Do you think that's something that should be compulsory then? That referees should have competed before they go into refereeing?
The funny thing is about this that type of system is they did this at Europeans or World Champions. The Russians always sort of got a good group or squad together and said, right, we're going to have a referees course a couple of days before. They're all going to go into referees course so they can referee. And they went, no. First, they've got to compete.
Yeah.
They went, all right, next time it comes up. Or at that competition, they all competed.
Yeah.
Whether they could fight or not. Some come along just to do the referees course. No, you can't do it. You've got to fight.
Yeah.
So what they did, they put them all in. Whether they lost or not, they'd just go and go, right, I've done it. Then they'd go,
can I do the course?
I have competed.
Yeah.
So the easy way around it, but...
well, obviously, on the topic of like competing and everything, when did you yourself like first sort of like think, oh, quite fancy a dabble at this competing lot?
Do you know, it was like fighting's always been part of karate. That's what karate is, really and truthfully. It's about defending yourself, right? And I've never, ever got in my head, I'm going to beat somebody, even at club. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to beat you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best. Yeah. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
The concept in here is I'm going to do my best in techniques and strategy and this, that, and the other. And that's the way I went forward. I never went, oh, I want to be on lead Shotokan first team or whatever. That was not my aim. My aim was to get them techniques right. Your instructor sees you doing this, and then he goes, "Oh, you're going in front first team," right? So you develop that, and then you go like. We just didn't stick to KGB competitions. We went to Budo competitions, Shotokan competitions, just to get experience of fighting different people, you know.
And what was that like back then? Because obviously, as we know now, not in every association, but in what sort of became a bit of a norm for associations was that you didn't deviate from going here, there, and everywhere.
Experience, you know. I mean, the biggest experience we ever had, or I ever had, was being on All-Star squad.
Yeah. And how did that come about? Did that just come about because you saw them and thought, I want to go and train?
No, I just got picked.
Right.
The pig got on national squad KGB, and then they were asked to send so many people.
Oh, right, okay.
Good experience, very good experience.
Once you'd had a taste of that, though, was it like they felt like just what I know?
Fighting's fighting. It doesn't matter whether it's all styles or Shotokan. You know, it's fighting.
Yeah,
there's no difference. You know, they may do like Wado. You're probably getting trying to kick your ghoulies off. Low kicks, you know.
Yeah.
Low my gaddies. Yeah, I've had tasted one of them down.
So when you went to the All Stars was it California? You went.
We beat them.
Beat the Japanese. So that squad.
But we.
How did you get on with that squad there? There was. It was a talented bunch.
Well, we'd been together. I think I must have been on squad 4 or 5 years. So you got to know each other, you know. I mean, it got to a point. I mean, I probably were first one put my hand up and says, "Look, I'm retiring from this." Is because you had 4 national squads, KGB. Then you had 4 all-star squads, which were BKCCs then. Right. That's 8 squad trainings a year.
Wow.
And then double that up on...
With all killers on
Europeans.
Well.
And you started training as well, yeah.
And besides your own training...
Yeah.
I went 4 or 5 years, that's me done. Because I had 2 kids as well, you know.
Yeah.
I was like yin and yang. I was never at home.
Yeah.
Never at work. Because every time we went away, like 4 or 5 days, you know, or a couple of weeks or whatever, you know.
On that All Stars team, then, who was your who was the sort of squad coach for that at the time?
Well, Steve O'Neill was a squad coach. It's funny, you know, because he was a good coach. Without a doubt, he was a hard coach. It was a hard training sessions, you know. They weren't easy at all. And Brian Fitkin was one of his lads, Cook Shinkai, because he was Cook Shinkai. And one day we were in Berlin, Europeans competition. We just got there. It all got changed. They wanted to go out for a meal or something like that. And I was left in fire and everybody come down and gone, you know. And there was me. And then Brian Fitkin turned up. Is it only me and you, Bob? I went, yeah. He said, come on, we'll go for it. Anyway, we went for a coffee. And out of the blue, he just turned around and said, what do you think to Steve O'Neill? And I thought, he wants me to talk about his sensei, you know. And I went, oh, right, yeah. I think he's a good coach, good manager, but he doesn't inspire me. Like an oider.
Yeah.
And he just shrugged his shoulders and went, that's a fair comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it was on there. I also remember the hardest one was they had Sensei Noida, Suzuki Sensei, and Steve O'Neill, and we had them an hour each.
Oof.
Oh, God. That went down in London somewhere. But that was a real hard But yeah, good learning and good fun, you know. I mean, you have your hardships and you have your good times, you know. We all met up.
Yeah, beating Japan over in America, that must have been, you know, a good fit. You know, I suppose a good feeling. Good achievement.
Well, I was on the squad. I wasn't in the team, which I was. If you look at a picture, I'm like this. But we all trained. Same. We don't train any differently, you know. We all trained to get on there, and we won.
Did you? You know, after obviously when you finally put your sort of hand up, says, "Oh, you was sort of done with that." Was that done with competing in like sort of full stop then, or just like when you said like you put your hand up and you'd sort of after 4 or 5 years you were like done sort of like
of the mixed
of the mixed styles. Was that you done with like with competing across the board?
Across the board, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And
I think I just dabbled a bit with Team Kata or something like that.
Yeah.
But did you find it you know, having been so dedicated to competing and training, you know, I suppose in general, but did you find it like difficult to sort of call the competing a day? No.
No. Let's face it, I mean, in them days, I mean, especially in KUGB or Shotokan competitions, you didn't have heights or weights.
No, it was all just...
You know, you got up and it could be a 6-foot-odd lad in front of you, you know, and that's what you're up against all the time. I also remember down at Crystal Palace, I mean, we won it then, the Europeans. And first time out, I think there was... me, Stevie Cattle, Billy Higgins, Terry and somebody else. And by Terry, we were all this size. But they were Yugoslavia.
Oh, wow.
Mountains.
There was no temptation. No temptation once you retired to get back into it?
No, because... Do you know something? When you retire, you start looking after your lads then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is more nerve-wracking than getting up and fighting.
Yeah.
Because every time 5 of them get up, you're fighting 5 times. Come on,
yeah. Well, it's something about when you watch your own kids compete as well.
Yeah,
that's like, you know, that's another level.
It's heart-wrenching, isn't it?
It is.
Do it, you know.
Yeah.
Did you concentrate more on like that transition then? Were you concentrating more on teaching then at that time? Or were you still teaching?
I was still teaching all the time, you know, and there was no difference between what we're doing. I think that's why we had, probably through my input from the national squad and the all-star squad into, you know, Matt, Nick, Randolph and all the rest who were there, is that we had a good all-round experience of Kumite, you know.
When did you sort of take over the full running of Leeds, Leeds club?
That was way before. I think we'd actually won the nationals, and I came back. And we were. I think Ronnie had gone to South Africa with the all-star squad. So he was gone a week, so I were helping out teaching at the club. And he came back, and I were raring to go, you know, and I was giving my instructors a tough time. And afterwards, I talked to him because all of a sudden they weren't coming down. Ronnie and Dave had flown the nest, so it left me to sort of be the senior instructor. They all thought I wanted to take over, and I didn't. Far from it. The least thing I want to do, as I say, in my head, I was just trying to progress, do my best. It didn't matter whether I were... Well, I didn't think I was overpowering somebody else in the club. That was just what I did.
Yeah.
And whether that influenced their mindset, I don't know. Because I told them after, I says, there was no way I was thinking of taking over a club, because they thought that's what I wanted to do, and I didn't. So it come to a point of, we were talking about committees.
Yeah.
We had a new committee there who were not listening to what we were telling them to do. And I said, right, I says, you're not listening to me. You want to do what you want to do. Best thing I can do is I'm going to take the name and the club. You can keep your beginnings or whatever. And I'm going to start another club.
Yeah.
That was it. That's when I started.
And did you get quite a lot of the club go with you?
Senior-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we still had to build it up over 2 or 3 years before it got back to a decent-sized club, yeah. But all the seniors came with me, yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah, like I was saying earlier, I mean, having been able, instructing and guiding, I guess, at the time, people like Matt and Randolph and Nick Heald, I mean, it must have been nice to see them.
But there were a lot of others as well, girls who were on squad, you know.
Did you coach the the Northern squad as well?
Oh, Northern squad, yeah, we had. And it wasn't me. It was when I retired that it was Stevie Catlett who brought a lot of these things up for me. He says, we're having these technical meetings, and he says, do you think now Bob Rhodes is retired that he should be involved in something else, and I don't know, he says, like, now and again taking Northern squad. Well, I think it was Sensei Sherry who was taking it then.
Right.
And I says, would you mind that? Me doing, say, alternate Northern squad? Just looked at me and went, you do it.
All right.
And I went, oh, fair enough. So I took over the Northern squad, and we had some great ding-dong sessions there. Really, really. There was a lad called... He was from Aylwood anyway, a big tall lad. He lives up in Dales, actually, in Yorkshire. And I met up with, the Leeds have that reunion. I don't know if you know about it.
Yeah, I've seen you do it when it's been on Facebook and stuff like that, yeah.
He just come to me then. No. It'll come to me. He was from Aylwood anyway. We were talking away because I made arrangements that we'd meet up to one of these reunions. And we were talking away there, and he says to me, turned around to me, he goes, Northern Regional Squad. I said, yeah, I said, that's a great day. He goes, we used to take all the stuff you told us back to Aylwood and practice it. So it were, there were great days, And again, it wasn't that I wanted to be the man or anything like that. There was a job to be done, and I did it to my best possibilities, which I tried very hard, to do. And it was.
Had you been made like a grading examiner at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same point. Yeah.
At the same point. Yeah.
And Stevie Catlett again.
Yeah.
Put me forward. Why don't we make him a grading examiner?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when would you have had Grantham at that time? Would it not that?
No, I don't think so.
The biggest people when I first started doing gradings, I was like a yo-yo going up to North East.
Yeah.
A1. Gradings. And then John also got his grading, and that was A1.
Straight up to... yeah. But they had real strong clubs, didn't they?
Up in North East, yeah.
North East,
yeah.
But I mean, you was obviously very prominent in Newark, grading examiner in Newark SKC, and then obviously at Grantham as well.
Well, I did have to. I came down once every so often, but I think it was when Kawasawa left.
Yeah.
Because she used to all have a big grading together, you know. And no disrespect to Kawasawa, but there's some of that knocking about, money. And I also remember turning around to, who runs it here now?
Wayne Malachowski.
I don't know if it was Wayne or somebody. Well, a family who run it.
After Alan Bainbridge left to go to Australia, it was passed to a guy called Darren Taggart and Wayne. It was Darren Taggart and Wayne.
Yeah.
But it was Wayne's dad, mum and dad
Yeah,
used to run on his
Pete,
side of it.
yeah, Pete, yeah, they used to do a bit of it, yeah.
Well, first time I went there after Kawasawa had left, and they must have had something like 100 white belts to create.
Yeah, they had a bit. Yeah, it was a big club.
It was a big club, you know. And the first row of white belts, up and down, and I looked at Wayne, and I looked at him, and he went, "Do what you got to do, Mum." temporary. So, and then it was like an open door to me, coming down. And
I think we'd experimented with, we'd had Bob Poynton, Terry O'Neill, Billy Higgins at the Southwell Club, and then moved to Grantham, got Bob in, and it just seemed a right fit, you know.
Idiots with idiots.
Our style.
Idiot with idiots.
Our style just wanted, you know, that.
Well, I remember but I remember you saying that, you know, Bob Poynton, God rest his soul, you know, like obviously it got the with you a bit, like, you know, once you started using
I think so, because he thought he was bolted on for the grading of our club, and it was a big club, and I think we didn't want to snub, but we just favoured Bob's style of
there were a bit of controlling in the KGB, which was unfortunate.
They wanted their own sort of set clubs. Oh, we're going to grade you now.
He stopped a lot of people from having the freedom to get all they wanted, you know.
Yeah.
But a bit like you were saying earlier, like when you said originally when you'd rang Mrs. Buck and said like you want Sensei in order. I mean, I remember the couple of times that we had Sensei in order, at Grantham, and like when he did turn up, it was like obviously when he was there, it was massive. Yeah. And then there was a couple of times I think he sent Sensei out. It's like you're telling everybody, "Oh, Sensei Noida's coming," and then obviously on the day, Sensei out turns up, which. It's still good training. It's still good training, but you've told everybody.
It's Sensei Noida. I just when I took over secretary for the club, I just said, if he's not coming, don't send anybody.
Well, I think I remember you saying that you had to say the same again. I think one of the last times that we had,
because I felt wrong. Nothing wrong with Sensei Ota, who's a good instructor, but I think the whole excitement to have Sensei Noida come was, and then not come, was a
bit of disappointment, maybe.
A big disappointment for the students expecting him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, not like nowadays where you're putting it on, it's all on social media and things, you can't just sort of like, probably trying to ring round everyone back then, just would take you, ages.
Yeah, when you were on about when you finished with competition, I would supposedly doing a book or Sensei Simon Oliver, he did an article in the Shotokan Karate magazine.
Yeah.
Which he obviously had words about and this and the other and what I should put forward, and he made a good article of it and everybody appreciated it. And then he says, "Do you want to make a book, or should we put a book together?" He says, "I'll tell you what to do. You write it," because he had this way of writing, It's not finished.
It's ongoing.
But he wanted to get it over and done with, and I wanted to make sure it was right, so it's on my desk at home.
Oh, brilliant.
But now I've forgot the line you were on about.
Well, as you mentioned, Sensei Simon Oliver, it just makes me think of a story I think you told me. Like, was it in competition one time? You and Simon were competing against each other, and it was Sensei Bob refereeing?
No, it was in the Nova Centurions when
Aidan
Trimble was coaching that. We were all looking for a place on the squad, and it was a case of me and Simon always seemed to get paired up with each other, and we're knocking lumps out of each other, and it was a case of Aidan Trimble saying, "You two would get on a lot better if you didn't try and stop killing each other." So we did actually get on the same squad, but it was a good experience that.
No, it was actually, so it wasn't that one I was thinking of. I think it was when you and Bob Manning were and I think Bob swept you, and I think that
was the Shotokan Cup.
Yeah.
Bob Manning Sensei, we fought him in the individuals at the Shotokan Cups. You were reffing, and Bob Manning, fantastic sweep technique, and he took my leg, but he absolutely deadened it to the point of I couldn't stand up, and I think I was trying to crawl up your leg at the time, and you just said, "Carry on." All I wanted to do was crawl off the mat.
You know, Tom, I've forgot that leader we're on, but it might come back to me. Anyway, there's a book there. And the thing what I was on about was, it's come back to me now. You're on about when I said competition's finished. We had to do an inventory on the medals and cups at home. I got about 3 plastic boxes full of them. And we did an inventory of what and this and the other. And we got it all written down, and I meant to bring it today. And he says, "I don't believe you've done that."
Because there's so much you've done. You've done so much.
Yeah. He says, "Nobody does this much." Because, as I say, when you were on KGB squad and All-Star squad, you could be doing 2 or 3 international competitions a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because that sounds like quite a busy schedule. How did you manage it?
Difficulty. The difficulty was I had to turn round to the person at work and go, "Sorry, but I'm going to be off for next."
Yeah.
But they knew what we were doing, so for some uncanny reason, they took it on board and
very understanding boss.
Go.
It is good. I mean, like our instructor Sean. I mean, he's been really lucky. But it's some of the times he's been away, his previous boss was like, "Yeah, no problem, go for it," and was really supportive. And I mean, it's really, again, having someone like that was willing to.
But at one time, when we first started off, I mean, in that era again of going abroad and being international, is that if they didn't like it at work, lump it, because when I come back, I'll get a job the next day, because it was that easy to get a job. Now, it's not that easy to get a job.
Yeah, definitely.
So people have to be... And there were a place in the journey where that come very prominent, that people couldn't sort of relax and go, "Well, I'm off to Europeans," because their job meant their living and family, you know. So it was a choice between... I would imagine there's quite a lot of people who've just done a year or 2 years and gone, "Oh, I can't do that."
Well, we've always spoken about, like, obviously Phil, and like I always look again, obviously biased because I've known him so long and everything, but I thought, again, from Newark, was very, very talented, but with his job, it just meant that he just couldn't 100% commit to.
He needed his work on a Saturday to earn his money.
There'll be that little bit there what goes, and it got to me in the end. I just went, just can't.
Well, it was. I mean, that was like, for me, like, it was like obviously working for you, and obviously you've got working for family, but you still don't want to stand out, I guess, in the workplace of like getting in any sort of like, I guess, like preference or favoritism. Of course.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's always that thing like, don't break a leg.
Need you back on Monday.
But then when you're competing, I don't know, like it was like I'll just would step out there like, well, if I do break an arm or like,
that was the consequence of being there. Wasn't it? I mean,
we were talking earlier about the amount of travelling you have to do to be on a squad or something. Even go and train with the nationals. You had to always go down to crawl.
I had to go to Westminster, so it was one time it was Westminster every Sunday for like what I don't know 1 or 2 like whole years. I mean that was
as a working man with a young family as well. It's difficult.
Yeah, that
to do.
was
hard. Yeah.
For a while, I was like in the steel foundry. I was rumping weights around here, there, everywhere.
But I was thinking, as a grading examiner, what do you look for in a student beyond just like technical ability? If they're in front of you, like for grading.
Well, if it's at my club, I look for dedication to training constantly, week after week after week, and trying hard. And I'm always at them. I was at them when we last there, Thursday. And I says, look, there's some people who go away and you teach them a kata. I sometimes pick a senior kata for the week, so they're going to get it twice in that week. And I say, look, end of that week, you don't just forget it. You don't forget anything that's been told to you in the club. You take it away, you think about it, and keep it in the back of your head. And then next time we're going through that, you'll understand it more until it gets even deeper into your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you can't just come along and go, this is the start, that's the end, and that is it.
Yeah.
No. I mean, we used to, even, I would teach him probably 7 days a week, and even more, probably 10 sessions a week.
Yeah.
But I still went to gym.
Yeah.
I still had some
trying to concentrate on your training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a family at club now which is very good. There's 2 brother and sister what are very good, but I had to have a word with a brother the other night about his lack of concentration and this and the other. I says, I hope we're not going to be crossing swords. And his dad was there at the door.
Yeah.
And he came up to me, because I gave him a real ripping off. I said to his dad, come on, I says, look, he's he went, you don't have to say anything else. He's going through that teenage.
Yeah.
I went, all right.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, my I'll say what we probably mention it like on the podcast a bit, but my memory of obviously when either training or grading with your good self, like when I was younger, was again it was just seeing if you still do it now, because you'd be in front of us at Grantham, and either the way I've always trained is that if the instructor, it could be in the gym or wherever, if they're speaking, they're talking to me. So it's and I remember thinking, not happy with what was generally it'd be a good part in the class where you're not happy with what's going off, or like what the effort that's going on, and you'd open your gi up and you'd be like, in here is my bad head. And I said, in a minute I'm going to put my bad head on, and I just remember thinking,
wouldn't like it.
Christ, if that's his bad head, if he's got his bad head in there, I don't want to know.
That's scary.
I don't know if you just saved that for Newark and Grantham or not, but it was.
No, it's like a continuity of how I feel about when I train. It's like I always say to people who are taking the grading, look, this is a grading examination. I want to see your effort, full effort into doing it. Not that you're going to just laze through it or whatever.
Yes.
You are going to work for it.
Yeah.
And that's how I always feel about it, even now.
Yeah.
I am at my club. And I've had people, we were talking about the Thames Karate Association earlier on. And there's a couple of their students come down to my club to train, and they understand they understand by seeing my students go up and down and do the grading examination is that what's been asked of them to do. It's not just grading. It's every time you're training.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You want to do. And even if, you know, I mean, talking about the aggression side of it and this and that, says, look, it's no use punching here. Yeah. Punch here. If, unfortunately, that's a mistake or an accident. But this is no good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the Shotokan Cup sweep punch. Not far away.
Yeah.
What, you know, if you're grading someone for Shodan or any black belt, you know, what is it that, you know, if it's let's just pick Shodan for example.
It don't make
again.
It don't make any difference. Whatever grade you're doing, they should be. We were on about this. How constant you should say somebody's taking the second dan, third dan, or fourth dan, going through their going through what they should understand is going to be asked of their grading.
Yeah.
There's nothing, right, that I haven't been through that they're going to go through. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Agiyuki Gakuzuki. Yeah. Or about Agiyuki Gidambarai Gakuzuki.
Yeah.
It's all basic.
Yes.
Whether it goes from just Agiyuki, beginner, Gakuzuki, red, Gidambarai Gakuzuki, purple, or whatever, it's still, there's only so many techniques in karate.
Yeah.
Right? If you're put through them techniques on a regular basis, doesn't matter what combination you're going to get, just let me go through it, and I'll have it.
Yeah.
And I used to do that now, Chris. In fact, I remember one time, it was either third dan or fourth dan, long combination, right? And there's four of us in a row, I'm on end. And I know what I'm doing because, you know, they've just walked us through it, but I've been through it before.
Yeah.
I was off like a bullet.
Yeah.
I had to come back because two of them were still on the sign block going, what? That's up to the individual when they come down and train or the instructor is how much you're going to give them.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
And me and Debbie were just talking about the other day, and I says, look, I expect them, when they get to the Shodan, that they know their basics.
Yeah.
And they know how to put combinations together because I'm going to give them combinations. So no matter what combination they're going to get, they're going to go bam, bam, bam. Yeah. I'll put them basics together. That's it.
Yeah. Do you like say even in a grading situation, do you like the long combinations, or would you rather keep it maybe like 3-4 like techniques?
No, I think I like the long one because it's challenging to the mind and the body. I like it just for that. It's not practical.
No.
You know.
I always felt that like with some of the long combinations that almost not impossible, but trying to keep the form of especially the front knee bent right from window wiping.
Well, but it's all training. It's basic training. What I said about Sensei Noida saying the roots of a tree, that's your roots, your basics.
Yeah.
From there on, you're going to grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you must keep your basics there.
Got to keep it sharp.
It's like for a grading, you've got to go all in. I think, to be fair, because you took me through my Q grading, so that's one of the biggest lessons I learnt from you, is that you've got to go all in. You've got to give it everything, and you've got to be hardworking.
Oh yeah, I used to even when I got to before Sensei, we had Sensei up and doing grading courses and stuff like. I'd be in that class and we'd do a kata, and I would put. So I got to the end, right, yame, and I'm going. Please don't let us do it again. And sometimes one more time. And we do it again, and I'm like, it's controlling your body, right? You could just go, I'm done. No, it's controlling the body and mindset over it, everything. And that's how I expect. I expect no more than what I would do myself.
Yeah.
Because if I don't try and get the people there. Once I was doing a course and grading at Cambridge University, way back. And they were training Saturday, training Sunday morning and grading afternoon. And Saturday night, we all met up in one of their dormitories. Have you seen them in Cambridge? It's like a hall with little rooms going off. That's just for one person, you know. Anyway, we all met up in there for little knick-knacks and a drink and that. And then they all go, Sensei, would you mind if we ask you questions? And I went, no. I said, fire away, you know. I'm not bothered about anybody asking questions. Anyway, one particular person said, look, Sensei, now you've finished your competition, what's your aim now? I says, my aim is to make somebody better than I was. And that were it. And I went, I can't believe you think that way, but that's the way you think. That's why you're getting Randolph and Matt and Nick, and you can't go. There's a lot of people and there's a lot of instructors what will suppress people in certain forms and ways from reaching that goal.
Yeah.
Because then it means they're better than them, or they're getting better than them, or it don't work that way. Don't work that way at all.
I think, I mean, I look back at some associations and things, and you know, obviously, all of us here have been involved with the KUGB and stuff. I always look at, like, I don't know, you could call it the golden era or whatever. Certainly, what I remember growing up as a young kid and going to the nationals, or like when you look at Sunderland back in the day, you know, and how many people were there. But you look at all that talent that was in all that talent that was in the pool.
Immense.
Like,
it was immense.
Yeah. And but then to see that either that they'd reached a ceiling, in a sense, maybe, and they couldn't go through that. They couldn't go through that ceiling, like you say, maybe being kept down. You know, and it's. I just
a lot of people, you know, I mean, I was one of them, and they also associates that we are the suppressors. We're keeping it down. There's only going to be us elite six there and nobody else. No. Well, it wasn't in my mind. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a pity that, you know, we lost people like George Best, Ronnie Christopher, and lots of people like that, because we didn't cater for them.
Yeah.
And we should have catered for them, you know. But
yeah.
That's why Nick and Matt left.
Yeah.
Randolph was on the verge of it.
Well, again, that's what creates. Well, again, with karate being so splintered nowadays, so many different associations.
It's because people can't cope with like in the end, really, cope with a cage full of lions or tigers. It's like they're wanting to get out and do their stuff. Yeah. And really and truthfully, within confines, you should have allowed them to do it.
Yeah. I just look at it as such a big shame, such a shame that you've just had all that, all that talent.
And then it's splintered.
Yeah. And again, it's like they're like looking at, like you're saying, how big the nationals or whatever would have been, like, you know, back then. I'd just love to see something like that now. All these associations, if you could just get together and have the talent
the trouble
that's
is
around
now.
now.
Do you know what the problem is now?
Money.
He's got a big dealing with it, but the problem is not with the students. It's with the people who control, like refereeing, management, this, that, and the other. They are. I mean, at one time we used to go we'd do us whatever we were doing, and then we'd still have us gi on. And I'd go, right, oh, can you do a bit of refereeing over there? Oh yeah, this, that, and the other. The main thing about in that time was the two students giving them an honest result.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, it's these referees have got a manual in their head and going by it, and these students are like just things there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as they can go, oh, you're no, it's just I just went to one. I thought I'll have a go at WW whatever, you know. Loads of kids. That's another thing. Kids. But that's abusing kids, really, because they've got a section for every grade.
Yeah.
Everybody who goes there is going to come back with a medal.
Yeah. I'm not really.
Money. But I went to one of their referees courses as well, just to sit in. And all this bowing, and you've got to say this before this, and this before this. And half of these people have not been on a tatami fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, with the like you say there, with refereeing, and yeah, like you say, all these rules, different rules that people like you sort of.
Well, at one time, there used to be like the referee. As far as I'm concerned, the referee is a person who looks for the point, gives the point.
Yeah.
The corner judges are to help that referee make the right decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't make the point. They don't give the point. The referee gives the point.
Yeah.
So to me, the first thing is that referee has to see the point as much as he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they help him. Now you see him, just stating there, that you see some referees, they're not like involved in the competition, what's going on, i.e. it's got to be Kumite.
Mm-hmm.
They walk round nearly out of the tatami and they are relying on the corner judges seeing the point.
Okay. Yeah.
That is totally against all principles of what a referee should be doing. A referee should be looking for the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like anything you see, say football, rugby, blah, blah, blah. The referee runs around. He doesn't stand at one end of pitch and wait for sideline people to tell him, oh, there were a foul here. Their referees are up and down that pitch, rugby, football, you name it, because they've got to be on the spot to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be in karate. They get on there, that referee should be not interfering, but as close as to see exactly what's going off. Because you can't rely on 4 judges, because they're all not going to see what one person sees or another person sees. Very rarely.
Yeah.
Have you ever have you been at a competition that you know that you can think of where you weren't refereeing, but you saw something like, I don't know, a decision or something?
Why do you think I took refereeing up? Why do you think I decided I'm going to be a referee? For exactly that reason.
Yeah.
If I'm annoyed with them, there's other people annoyed with them, they probably get annoyed with me because I give the right decision, which can be annoying. But to put things right, I mean, that's...
Have you ever seen like one that even sticks to your mind where you thought that was outrageous decision?
Yeah.
Like that?
I saw, you may recognise this, but I'm going to have a little bit of diplomacy here. Somebody was sat on the backside with Gakuzuki, and they got up, and the referee says, no point, and the person slipped. Do you know what it was?
Was it at the Nationals?
That was blatant.
Yeah.
Absolute blatant, you know? And to be an honest referee, you just can't do that.
Yeah. Was that something you were up against then? Because you're trying to make the right decision and others perhaps not.
Oh, it'll always be the case. You
Yeah.
know? Always be the case. He's just a referee's.
You never really are you going to get, you know, if you've got human, I guess, referees in there, you're always going to have. I know as a referee, you're supposed to be like unbiased, and you know.
Sometimes it just depends what you see and somebody else sees.
Yeah.
I mean, I get people. If I see somebody give a point, I'll stop a match and go, "Come on, tell me," because I didn't see that side.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if I think the transaction, what went on just then, didn't suit what he said, I probably won't give it. But if I feel like he's done a punch and I can't see it land, so I can't give it, because that's the ruling. You don't see, you don't give. And that is another thing. They stick the flag out thinking, and they can't see it land, and they're giving a point there, you know. So it's very, unless people are very strict on what they're supposed to be doing, then it does cause a problem.
Yeah.
What would you say that karate has taught you about yourself over the years?
Ooh, that's a difficult question. Purify the body, mind and body. I think the older you get, the more wiser you become, and wish you hadn't done certain things, but certain things are done, and that's life in general. It's made me confident, obviously, in wherever I go and whoever I talk to about. It doesn't have to be about karate, it can be other. You won't ask me one little dot about my other side, but we've got plenty of time. I believe it's a step in my direction if you stick at the training in life. You know, because in life you have to make decisions. In karate, sometimes you've got to make decisions, especially if you're an instructor. You've got to tell people off sometimes. You've got to tell adults off sometimes, and sometimes it's not like a nice thing to do, but it's got to be done because that person won't learn unless you tell them. So yes, it makes a big change in your life, a big change. But do you learn? I don't think at 80 that I'd still be doing what I'm doing there or teach or whatever, if it weren't for doing karate.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, did you ever, you know, through the years that you've been training and teaching, you know, have you ever doubted the path? Like, ever thought, like, you know, this might not be for me? Or?
No, because I love karate.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I was just saying to Steve, I just had a new knee op with my right knee, and I've been quite flexible in my old age. And I think we've had a load, haven't we? COVID. I had a triple heart bypass, which knocks you off time after time. And now with a new knee, especially winter, my flexibility has suddenly sort of disappeared, you know. I thought, where's that gone? But I am 80.
Yeah, don't knock it.
Don't knock it, yeah. So I thought of little things to do today and thought, no, stick to your hands, Bob. But I am still, I will get my stretch back.
Yeah.
If it takes me a year or whatever, I'll get it back. I love the feeling. I love the feeling of doing techniques.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's a bad thing, good thing, or but it gives me a feeling of I'm in control of my body.
What would you say is the hardest lesson that karate has ever given you?
Hardest lesson. That's a difficult one, because once you love what you're doing, it's very hard to say what's hard and what is easy. Or the hardest thing in karate as a teacher is getting good students and then they go, leave or whatever.
Yeah.
It seems now, I mean, it started a long time ago. I don't know if you can remember when you could get students come along as beginners, and they could range from 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 until they started work, and there may be a difference. But then they changed the curriculum towards going away and doing loads and loads of homework and this and the other. And all of a sudden, before they did their exams, you lost the 14 and 15s. Don't know why. Because they had so much homework to do. I mean, they had, I don't know if you'll ever remember James Olsworth's front club.
I remember the name. Yeah.
And he was going through that problem at that time. That's how I remember it, really.
Yeah.
Is he had all this homework to do, and he says it's a struggle sometimes to get down and train 3 times a week. He says it's a real burden. And I noticed at that time that era or that space of age between 15, 16 was when they were starting to go for the proper exams, is you lost them people. So that was the big heartbreak, is that you get them from 13 or whenever, you build them up to there, and then
yeah.
gone.
I've found it, like, again with instructing and things, that like it used to find it really, really hard when, again, you might have students that are really showing some promise, and then they just, nah, it's not for me, and they're off.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and it's like, is it something we said, or you know, like
we've had loads of club do exactly that, but not so. Sometimes, quite a few times, it's because of exams or university. I mean, we had a lovely guy, Josh, French origin. He'd have been another Frank. Seriously, he was really, really good university.
Yeah.
And funny enough, he went to Cambridge, and they had a good club there.
Yeah.
And yet he didn't follow it through.
Yeah.
They had it. I've been to Cambridge. They had a bit clicky.
Yeah.
And whether that put him off or whatever, I don't know. But he was keen as mustard.
Yeah.
And strong.
Yeah.
And just a shame, you know, there's been 2 or 3, and that is answers your question, really.
Yeah.
That's the sad part of, or the hard part of being a teacher in karate, is losing.
Yeah.
But sorry.
Just on that, Sensei, how you mentioned heartbreak, feeling sad. How do you get over that?
Look for the next one.
Well, see, this is what me and Debbie have discussions about, is Debbie's all over him like a fly, texting, blah, 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 this and I turn around and say, don't want to be here, they'll be here. If they're not here, don't go chasing them. And that's just a ruling in my head.
Yeah.
If they want to go, I'm willing to give them everything they need to get in karate. If they're not willing to come down, then why should I worry about it?
Yeah.
On the same note, like how did you take it quite hard? Like, obviously when Sensei Noida passed away, obviously with him being like obviously a good pal, I imagine, and a guide, I guess, in
life in general.
Yeah. And that must have been.
Oh yeah, big miss, and not only that, things changed.
Did you feel like that it was almost overnight. Like once Sensei had gone, or did it take a bit of time? Because that's when there was more splits, more people going off.
Not all the time, because you feel a great loss, but you've got to pick yourself up like anything else. The older you get, the more people sort of disappear.
Yeah.
Die, I mean. Sadly. And when I get to my age, I mean, Sensei was 68, was he?
I can't remember. It wasn't.
It was 68, something like that. And I always try and think of it this way: when somebody dies, I always go, "How old were they?"
Yeah.
And if it's like 70s or 80s, I go, "Well, they've had a good time."
Yeah.
So there's no weeping or all like that. They've had a good innings. I'm having a better one.
Yeah.
But there you go.
But I mean, like,
and it's obviously it is a deep miss, and the older you get, the more this happens. I mean, there were like, say, Constantine, there were John Holsworth, and somebody else who died within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
When that.
But it's, I mean, that we've certainly obviously in that karate world with Sensei Noida being almost like I felt like.
He kept
like the glue that sort of just kept everybody.
I was just going to say that.
Like,
he would have glued together, and you had one side Sensei Shuri, other side Sensei Noida, and they both had different ideas about the karate.
Mm-hmm.
And mine was with Sensei Noida, obviously.
But I think you've got that lineage back to, with Sensei Noida, you'd always got the lineage back to Japan.
Oh, yeah. But not only that, he was there for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, there were like 2 or 3 or 4 chairmen of the KGB while Sensei Noida was still the chief instructor. So he'd been around a long time,
Yeah.
But you had a choice of who you wanted to be, sort of like, you have a tendency to be that way, and that was the loss.
Yeah.
Is all of a sudden we didn't have that, and we didn't have the connection to Japan.
Yeah.
Which I always thought, and I still believe it, is good as long as you get the right instructor.
Yeah.
And instead of going right, I have less respect for Ota than a lot of people through a certain instance.
But
saying that Sensei Ota is going to take over from Sensei Noida, there's no comparison. He could not fill them boots. That was a problem.
It must have been a hard spot for even Sensei Ota to be in there, because that's a big old shadow to be in as well.
Mm. But he got the orders, and that was his orders. You're going to do that. But also, not only that, I mean, we went, I don't know if you were there, Steve, the commemorative course on him passing away. And I think the turned around and says, "Are you a member at JK?" I went, "No, you can't train then." I went, "You're joking, man." You've been going down there for years and years and years, and all of a sudden, and I thought,
yeah,
it's harsh.
That's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
But again, that's where the ego,
politics.
Politics, isn't it?
and they even have it in Japan, so it's not just here.
No.
They've had so many breaks and splits, and you're going to be chief, or you're going to be chief in Japan itself.
Yeah.
So we're just minors. Well, we're not really, because we've been around a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
big loss.
yeah, massive. Yeah, massive massive loss. I mean, did it ever look like, obviously once Sensei Inoda had passed away, did it ever look like that the KUGB and the JK may still keep links at all? You know?
No, I think that was the cut.
Yeah.
But only my thoughts was a good cut for certain groups of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, that's, I suppose, it becomes a bit protectionist for everyone's little group or pop, I guess.
Interest as well, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes, very...
and you could, I mean, there was another aspect as well about people used to say, if you go around, oh, you six, you're there, you're owning the thing. But them 6 or 8 or whatever were the people who got to the top, right? Worked hard, trained hard, got to the top. And the message was that you're just, you've got the gradings and this and that, you're happy, blah, blah, blah. But when I come away, I had the same feeling that we should look after other people. That I've said that already, like the Ronnies and George Best and people like that. We should have looked after them. Until I came out of the KGB, and then I went to HTKI, and a certain, you got A, B, C, D, whatever, grading examiners who can do Q gradings.
Yeah.
And then you get a panel to do the down gradings or such. There's yin and yang about it. One is that it's nice that George Best, Ronnie Christopher, blah, blah, can be grading examiners. I mention them too because they've come to the top of the pile.
Yeah.
Right? But when you say to all the instructors at the club, who were probably 3rd or 4th dance, now you can grade up to first Q or whatever. These people have not risen to here, right? All of a sudden, there's a new status that you get to a certain grade, you can be a grading examiner. That takes away, because these people who are up there have gone to A, B, C, D clubs, and they've shown their abilities, different abilities, 1, 2, 3, 4 clubs. And hopefully their instructor takes it on as they're going. And you'll notice in a minute, when you take them 6 away, all their abilities do not go to 1, 2, 3, 4 clubs. It's just their instructor. And the only time to see these 6, well, it's just imaginary, really. The 6 grading examiners who've got to here is when they do the down grading.
Yeah.
So all that knowledge or perfection of technique shown to 1, 2, 3, 4 clubs has gone. Right?
Yeah.
Now, you say we had a good era. One time we had that era where it was shit.
Yeah.
These 1, 2, 3, 4 people going around to these clubs. Take that away. And you'll find it now is that you go to different organisations. Where do you get a group of people like that? You won't see it. Because these top people are not there. They've gone now.
Yeah.
And are you going to get these other people who are going to sacrifice a job, this and the other, all for the course of karate, and then go around and teach at these clubs? Well, you don't now. You might see him on a downgrading course, and that's it.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Is that experiences, that knowledge is not spread out
Yeah.
as it used to be.
Do you think it just like it need like the when you've got that tier, that sort of tier at the top, then what if you've got that? How else can you? What would you do to promote even like the ones that are like bubbling, bubbling to get there?
Well, you've got to incorporate it in.
Yeah.
It may be sacrificing that instead of me doing 4 black and brown belts, I do 2.
Yeah.
And somebody else does 2.
Yeah.
You can fit it in.
Yes.
But it means a sacrifice, and that's...
Yeah, someone's got to be willing to sacrifice
You've got
their
to
bit.
be willing to say, right, I'll step back and blah, blah, blah. Or have more to be able to bring other instructors in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, being in the KUGB for as long as you were, I mean, that must have been no small decision, to come into that decision to,
Nearly
to
touching
leave.
on the sore spot there, right?
I am. Well, but obviously it's a big.
I'm glad you brought it up, actually.
Because it's it's a big part of
Because anybody who's watching this will find out now.
Yeah. But
big decision. No names. 2 people come to me and said something had gone wrong. How can I notify the KUGB about this wrongdoing? And all I did, which a lot of people don't know, is guide people to do the right thing. That is my only thing in what you know about what's gone on. That is all. That is it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And why I left was the people who knew about how this procedure should go didn't do it.
Yeah.
And they didn't do the right things. This is a committee. They didn't do the right things to make sure it was dealt with and secure until a verdict was given. I could not go in the same room as them people because I'm an I instructor in that KGB.
Yeah.
All that time. I couldn't be in the same room with people who did not go by the ruling of the Constitution on safeguard,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they hid it. And that's why I left.
But I mean,
Sad. I mean, I spent a lifetime there.
Yeah.
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 And sadly as it may have been, I had the littlest involvement in it. And yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah. But I mean, that must have, obviously, coming to that decision of leaving, that organisation, and then sort of.
It's not wrong with organisation.
No.
It's wrong. It's what's wrong with the people who run it.
Well, like in
time.
Generally the most. If something goes wrong in an organisation, it will come down to most likely people in certain positions. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, even so, that must have took you, quite some time to even. I don't know,
well,
kind of adjust, I guess.
There's a state of mind leading up to that, obviously. Is that the pressure on my position, I think, ever since I started being involved with, say, the squad or whatever, has been always a struggle. I've always had to really push hard on what I wanted and this, that and the other, and step out of line sometimes and go, just hold on,
Yeah.
That's not the right way. And it has been that way for a long time. as professional instructors, when we get together, we put that aside and get on with his job, i.e. Lancaster course, Torbay.
Yeah.
There's still some friction there on what should be right and what should be, but people in charge.
Yeah.
And especially when the Noida went, that was it. And so it's not been an easy road for me in general later on in my career in the KGB, later on.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's probably from when Noida passed away.
Yeah.
Or certainly after that time. Difficult, you know. So this was just a thing on top of the sort of icing, is that...
Do you think Rhodes Sensei looked out for you quite a bit,
Well,
there?
Yes and no. You know, I've always been hand up.
Yeah.
What about it? In fact, there was a time when certain people were saying, we should be really doing downgradings, blah, blah, blah. And I agreed with them. And so I took it on myself to go around all these instructors, including Sensei Noida, and ask if this would be a good idea to have downgradings where there'd be two there, different two, the senior ones like Andy Shuri and Noida, and collective together, either me, Billy, or Terry, or whichever,
Yeah.
So that was the start. That was supposed to be the start towards it being not Andy on everyone, but Andy, me and Bob, or me and somebody else, a change around,
Yeah.
So we actually would have do a downgrading and not be what it turned out to be, an assistant. They never put that. They were going to say, so we'll word it as Sensei Sherry with assistant Bob Rhodes. And I turned around to her and said, "You're not putting me down as an assistant."
But trying to go the way that you were saying. I mean, at least that keeps it a bit fresh as well, though. Like with the gradings.
It does, but in control.
Yeah.
So before any of that happened, it was still like a very edged situation.
Yeah. So obviously you'd made the decision, to leave the KUGV. Then for a time, obviously you joined the HDKI. Did they? I mean, again, I don't know the ins and outs. So did they approach you? Did they approach you, or did you?
No,
approach
it was
them,
actually Stuart and Jason from down Brighton way who approached me because they said they were going to join. So I used to go to about 3 or 4 clubs down there and teach and grade. And I said to them, I said, "Look, why don't you come along with..." Because I knew they weren't happy neither about the whole situation. So I says, "Why don't you come with me, along with me and join the HDKI?" And they go, "Don't know, and I says, "Well, I'm going to join. I need somewhere." And I was sort of not bullied. I've got my own mind, and nobody bullies me really. Is that I just had my heart operation then, and I had interview with Simon Bly and Scott Langley, and he says, "We'd love you to join us," because Stu and Jason had joined.
Yeah.
And I says, "Really and truthfully, I should really get myself fit and give me some time to think about it." And I went, "Oh, you don't need, you'd be all right joining now, And they give me all, we'd be welcome for your experience and whatever. And that was it. I joined, but unfortunately, these clubs I used to go to decided that they wanted to make their own association up. Shotokan Connect.
Shotokan. That's right. Because I remember. I think like when you came to teach us, a few years back. Because I think you'd had your harp, and I remember you saying then. Actually, it just reminded me that I think that were they originally thinking of maybe joining, but then obviously they formed.
They formed their own.
Yeah.
And they didn't invite me, but they did say, well, you could have joined. And I went, well, I said, I joined. I had to, because I committed me to the HCKI, I couldn't just go, oh, no, I don't.
Yeah.
But in some respects, I probably should. But it was... it's a different organisation. It's a different mindset on what they want to do, as we were discussing it earlier on. Although they said they had a place for me, they didn't. They didn't have a place for me. It was a name.
Probably just wanted a name.
Exactly. They wanted a name and a grade, and that was it. But when I says, look, why aren't I doing this, or why aren't I doing that, or involve me in this? I said, I don't want any payment. I'll do a referee's course for you. I'll do this. No, we're sticking to what they don't want to change.
Okay.
Even though I've been an international referee, we don't want your experience. And stuff like that. And I said, I turned round and I was like, when you looked at it, it didn't mean odds to me, but it did in a certain way, is that I was same grading C certificate as Simon Bly.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, I just sat down with, because you couldn't get hold of Scott unless you were like at his competitions or Christmas do. And I sat down with him and I says, look, I joined you with my portfolio of everything I've done and this, that and the other. And yet you're keeping, I said, I'd give it a year or whatever to see where I fitted in.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing happened. I'm still same grading examiner as that person there. That's not me. I says, I'm going backwards and not forward. Or I want to stay exactly where I am, and that is not with a C. So he says, well, what do you want? I says, well, I want full range of being a grading examiner. Simple. But these people think you wanted to take over. I didn't want to take over. You asked me to join as what I am. Senior grade, you name it, it's there in my portfolio. Use it.
Yeah.
Don't just disregard it when you've got a person who's got a lot of knowledge there to give to people. I wasn't going to take over anything or anything like that. If they wanted to do a black and brown belt course and so were doing the downgrading, fair enough. I says, but give me that facility as well, so maybe eventually you'll ask me to do one. But don't put me down there.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And I says, well, I'm sorry, but if that's the line you're going down, it's not good for me.
Yeah.
That's why I left.
And you where you're at now, that you're happy where you are. So
I'd be happy on my own.
Right.
I should have done it years ago. I mean, me and Billy said, we should go off and do his own thing years and years ago, and we probably should have. But then it had been another split.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to have an umbrella, like a home.
Yeah.
Not necessarily me, because people who don't know me, I'm not bothered about anyway. But there's a lot of people who do, so I can manage till I'm not doing karate again, which is a long time to go yet, hopefully. And I worry about my students having the home that they're going to be in, you know.
No, I think I think that's natural for any.
It is. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
You know, for any club.
So there's a little probably decision I've got to make yet before I'm happy about where I am. But it doesn't make any odds to me teaching or attitude, anything. It's just my students want. I do too a little bit. I'd like a home where, you know, you can go and talk about your things and this, that, and
the other. Yeah. Do you just thinking like say talking about things? I mean, do you feel like in karate like there should be more of a theoretical? I don't know about like test or whatever, but you know, I know like a lot of time people like so would go away and like. Look at techniques and things by themselves, but do you feel like there should be maybe more?
Did you ever get a book? Did you ever get a book to learn to walk? No. The whole thing is 9 times out of 10, whatever you're giving is your body shape and your ability. That only accounts for you, right? Or your mindset. So my theory is, I'm going to tell you what to do. Your body is going to find out how to do it.
Yeah.
You can only do that by repetition. That means going up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's why a lot of Japanese are very good. They've got that mindset of going up and down, up and down, up and down, until their body finds their level, their way of doing it. That's the only way you can do it.
Because I mean, certainly like what I found when I was in the JK was that it's like, oh, you need to be like right down in this stance, or you need to be here, and it was almost like trying to mold, a Western a Western body into like doing what the Japanese do. My argument was always the same. I'm 6'3", like my ankles and things aren't as flexible as that. It doesn't matter as much repetition as I like put in. I'm not going to make it look the same as like a Japanese person. So I think there's, Well, the choice is there. Is you keep going to aerobics class. Yeah. And don't go to a Japanese class. Right. Yeah. It suits. I mean, I had an injury once from international thing it was with Scotland. But I got an injury on my knee. I tore a muscle in a ligament. And fortunately, my local doctor, GP, was the GP for Leeds United football team. I didn't realise it until I went to him and talked about this. And he goes, "Oh, right." He says, "I've got a clinic down in the hospital, St James's in Leeds. When swelling goes down, I want you to come down and we'll try and get it back to norm." God, did I swear? Machines up and down this side, up and down the hall, just knee exercises, He says at the end, he says, "This is all free. At the end, I want you." He says, "I'm going to do a talk on different exercises for different sports." He says, "I'd just love to video you doing exercises." I went, "All right." So I went through all these exercises, and after the time I was doing it, we were going, "No." And he says, "You'll never, ever do what Japanese do. Because your frame of your body and your joints are not made or developed the same way. Yeah. We're developed to sit here on seats. Yeah. They're developed to sit on the floor and cross the legs. Something's going to change, and that's why they can be so open with the hips and knees. If you want to be a Western aerobics, if you want somebody with flexibility, go to Japan. Yeah. You're in the wrong class, but they know that. Yeah. They know what they can do and what you can't do and this and the other. But it's interesting to try and get there. A bit painful, like. Yeah.
It goes back to being the best version that you can be, and as long as
your body will find out where you're going.
As long as you've got the attitude and the sort of commitment.
And a lot of times, as I say, getting older. I mean, Anoid has said to me a couple of times, you're quite flexible, you aren't you? I says, well, I think I am, but not as much as you. So, you know, when people, I say to people when they're doing their exercise at the beginning of class, I go, and you can see them, there's not like a little fringe of pain going through their eyes or anything like that. And I go, you're not trying hard enough. You will not get any better by just going, You've got to go through a little pain barrier to get where you want to do, where you want to go. And that's never, ever have I, when I used to do a full warm-up, ever had it easy. I always try and get that little bit more out, that little bit more. Just say, see, now I've gone through this operation, this time of winter, and I've lost 50% of my flexibility. And I will try and get it back. Yeah. But I won't get it back just like that.
No,
it's going to be
gradual.
hard
It's going to take time. Yeah.
So going over to Japan is not sometimes a wise thing when they ask you to go down and keep it. No, it's a lovely thing that you go to Japan and train. I think their attitude to Westerners now is totally different to what it was. At one time, you was the guide, something like that.
But, if you're looking at, you know, like modern karate, you know, is there anything that concerns you about modern karate, if anything?
Yeah, there's not going to be any karate in 15 years' time. Who's going to be the top people in karate? Because I don't think they go through that type of training that they're going to last for 60 years. Do you?
I think there's some good people like coming through. I mean, obviously all the splintering and everything like that doesn't
help.
It doesn't help, or it certainly I don't feel like.
Do you think it's being more sport driven?
Sports now,
traditional karate might not exist. Might be very, very small sort of sections. People want to follow that art, but I think karate is a sport.
The sport
thing.
martial art, again, personally, like it isn't for me. Like, but you know, I can respect that some of like maybe some of the training routines that they do. But you know, like, I mean, they're so.
But they aren't training Budo, are they? The training competition.
It's just a touch and score a point. Yeah, that's it.
Different mindset, isn't it?
Oh yeah, without a point, without a doubt. I mean, are you telling these people, no, they don't say, look, I want you to do a gakuzuki and feel like you're going to put a hole through him. No, I want you to tap his gi, scored.
I mean, I mean, we were talking earlier, I mean, Sean did I was saying like that 5K karate contest thing, and there was like, I would say a rare mixture. There was people from JKA, people from HCK, people from numerous lettered, you know, like associations, and I would have said some more towards on the sports side, more sort of like on the traditional, and you know, like there was still some. I would have said there was some matches or fights in there that were
really good,
you know, really good. There was some I didn't like, you know, didn't like as much, but the lad that won it, I would say more than capable.
The winner is going to be the winner.
Yeah.
No matter who's there. Yeah. I mean, it was like all styles, right? You've got different all styles there, but when it comes down to fighting, fighting's fighting.
Yeah.
It depends on the type of fighting you're doing. We mentioned this earlier. When you look at Japanese in a competition, then you look at the Europeans in competition. They're two different things altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is what, you know, you should be looking at, really. We've won world championships, Europeans, this, that, and the other. We've never, ever, by squad training, gone to his club and practiced competition. We've practiced karate. We do karate, do ippon, we do sparring and everything. But we don't go down there and think, oh, we're doing competition. This is competition. Every time we go down, competition. No. Go down there and do karate.
Yeah.
And that is the difference. And that is the difference when you see the Japanese do their competitions. Is you can see the karate in it.
Yeah.
And when you see,
especially if you see like the All Japans or something like that.
When you see Europeans, it's like touching and waving around. I mean, the scoring, Sharon Washes, they've got this lean back when they come in, flick their foot behind the head and score and fall over. A technique, Ippon technique, or any technique, you should be sanctioned after.
Full
exactly.
Control,
Yeah.
Not falling over.
No.
What if you fall over and there's another 3 kids going to kick your head in? No.
Wouldn't work in the street, would it?
No.
But no, I mean that's the only sort of side. The thing, I don't know. Again, maybe I'm a traditionalist in that sense of that. When you see, like you say, maybe some of this. Again, the move, you know, the punches, the punches will be, you know, very, very, very fast and sharp, or the kicks are like very flashy and like getting in there. But it's a lot of the jumping around and celebrating and things like that.
Yeah,
like it's,
if I were a referee on there, whatever Ippon I'd go, no Ippon, because what's all this?
Yeah.
Are you going to do that?
I just don't.
Theatre, is it?
No,
I just don't like that type of thing.
I mean, they are good. I'm not saying that
I'm not saying
they're all
not
bad.
good, but
There's good in there, but the sad part about it is that there's a lot of bad in there.
Yes.
And that bad comes from there just going to the club and practicing.
But it's
Competition karate.
It's the thing of like, I don't know, like the lack of, you know, I don't know. I've always like, anytime I've fought, I've always shown my opponent respect.
Yes.
Like in victory or in victory or defeat. You know, like I'm not running around showboating or I just don't understand. I just
and I
don't
can't
subscribe
understand.
to
The
any of
bad
that.
thing about it is the referees let it happen.
Yeah,
they do. Yeah.
That is the bad thing. They wouldn't do it if you stumped it out and said, no,
Yeah.
you're not getting a point for that.
Yeah.
Why? Because of that.
Yeah. No, I
agree.
I couldn't agree more. It's just one thing that just really, I don't know, that just really grinds my gears.
It's a respectful art.
Yes.
I think if you carry that respect right through to all the aspects of karate, it'll win in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. So why do we think that referees don't stamp it out then?
Good point. I think they can be very influenced, I mean, it might be wrong totally, by now they have coaches and now they have this and the other to put complaints forward and this and the other. It's a complicated thing, especially when you get Europeans or World Championships.
Yeah.
Why don't they stamp it out? Because they probably haven't been on a tatami doing karate competition. One is that. Two is a glorification.
Yeah.
Don't want to make it look spectacular and this and the other. Where is it some technique spectacular? No, not really. I mean, they did say at one time, I think Wuko did a lot, is that if you score a kick to the head, you're going to get an Ippon and not Wazari. Wazari punching to the body, Ippon if you kick to the head. What does it matter? I mean, if you punch the head or you kick the head, why should you get an Ippon? Ippon is how it's delivered and how strong it is. That's an Ippon, not just because it's kicked to the head.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of these, you'll find a lot of these now, they're trying to kick to the head because they're going to get an Ippon. And no matter how they do it, the thing is, there's a lot of bad techniques going in there, which don't deserve an Ippon, but that's their ruling.
How important is it to preserve tradition? But while still evolving as well.
The thing is, it's like I'm going to step on dodgy grounds here. I know I am.
Sensei.
A family, right? You've got traditions. You've got your father, your mother, senior siblings or whatever. And we talk about the old Victorian type of schooling at home, you know, how they should behave and this and the other. And this carries out into general life because they have this structure in their home. And more that now you'll find that more that structure is not as strict as what it used to be. Then they go out in life and they don't have the same manners or whatever. You'll find this with kids now, is that the parents, no control over the kids go out and they do what they want. I'm not saying that for every parent, I'm just saying it happens.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that ruling, which, you know, it just fades and fades, it becomes that you're not in control or whatever, it fades, then same on the mat when they're fighting, if you don't stamp that ruling out straight away, you could never go back to Victorian times now.
No.
It's gone.
Yeah.
We have to deal with what we have to deal with now. Is like in London, they're having the kids rioting. Kids going in shops, stealing by the... It's bad, real bad. And why? It's because the system's, not a school or anything, the system's got to be done at home, right? Unfortunately. And now they've let in competition karate, they've let this carry on and waving around and this and the other, and it's hard to stop when you've let it go.
Well, there was...
I
mean, I had a friend of mine, I know during the COVID times and stuff, like it was jumped on a Zoom class of somebody's, don't know who it was, but he was saying a good portion of this class that he was just training along in on Zoom was how to try and influence the judges by, you know, when you've scored a point, like the way you're holding your fist and the way you're looking at them, and I was just like, what's that all about? You know, like it's
better gamemanship, isn't it? Yeah. I also remember, I don't know where we had the Japanese squad training and whatever. I don't know which sensei, it might be in Kagawa actually. When you go in, the biggest ki you can ever do, because if you miss, the ki looks good, and it confuses the referee to think, oh, what do you know?
Yes, I mean, I suppose all these little things creep in somewhere. And
but there should be still that. I think they've lost that whole thing of he's gone from a martial defence type not career, but study or training to something that's not got that
a bit like a game
steadiness. Whether that'll come, well, I think there'll always be traditional karate because that's what it's about in the end. Is self-preservation. I don't know. I can't tell you how people feel that when they're doing this sport karate, how they feel in general, in themselves or whatever. But I would imagine traditional karate, if they stick it and they train hard enough, they'll have a lot of confidence in their life.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
What do you hope that your legacy in British Shotokan will be?
So remember Bob Rhodes, he didn't like kids.
Scary Bob.
Scary Bob.
Brilliant.
Scary Bob with his bad head.
Yeah. I've been named many things which I can't understand. Legacy, just honest, say how it is.
Yeah.
And make people work hard, and hopefully they'll get there in the end.
I'd agree with that.
That's all you can ask as an instructor, really.
If there was a young white belt listening to this when it goes out, what advice?
How young?
13, Sensei.
13, 14.
13, 14, definitely.
You know, what advice would you give them?
It's very hard. We just touched on a dodgy subject of parenthood or whatever, and how teenagers are today. Is depending on that person. Is if you stick at your karate, work hard, train hard, and get down as much as you possibly can, we know it's not always possible, is you will benefit in your life ahead of you.
Yeah.
So if you've got the ability to have respect for... Like,
and that is a big thing, you know, the big thing is respect. Because without that, you'll never ever go along and do what the instructor's asking you to do. No. You know, like I had young Lucas down there, he just has that, even when you're talking to him, he's looking up, and I go, don't look up in there, look at me, I'm talking to you. And that's respect, you know.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, then, you know, why you come down to karate?
Well, that's it. Do you feel, just on the subject of respect, do you feel that's something that's partly lost?
Oh, partly lost.
Totally lost then. All right. Yeah, totally lost then. Yeah.
There's a lot of good kids out there. A lot of good kids, but there's also a lot. We've had that demonstration in London. You know, they're going into
shot. Yeah.
Crowds. I mean, mobs. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, where's the respect there? Where's the respect for? You know, the actual store or whatever, you know. I mean, they're going thieving is like rife. You know, I mean, this is all disrespect towards the owners of the shop and this and the other. And, karate, you've got to have respect. Without that, it doesn't exist in that person. Like respect towards people's property and this and the other. You don't have that, then you're going to end up like that. And we're going to have jails full of teenagers or whatever.
No, I can agree.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a shame, really, because, you know, we're... It's like we were saying the other day, early on in this podcast, is sometimes you need a knock on the jaw to understand what a knock on the jaw means. It means you've got to go, geez, you've got to collect yourself. You've got to control yourself. You can't let your manner drop because of that, because then he's going to have the advantage. So you have to understand that.
Yeah.
And to understand that, you've got to have it done to you. Not done intentionally. Nobody wants to do it at a club intentionally. But when it happens, you've got to take it on board. The one thing what we've taken away from our parents is to be able to chastise your kids. Doesn't have to happen. Sometimes it does happen. It doesn't have to happen with force or connection, but it has to have some chastising ability to prevent, or show respect, or them to show respect to their family. There's abuses in everything. But we're getting abused now because we're not doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny, me and some of my family members were having this like conversation, literally like probably yesterday, I think, and it was about like, you know, our own kids, like other kids, like not saying like please, and just for example, please and thank you for. Like it could be for anything, and it just made me think again, like on the line that you've gone. I mean, I remember, I don't know, you'd be invited around to a friend's house for tea or whatever, and maybe not Dad, but certainly my mum again. You best say please and thank you while you're there. Says you're a reflection on me. You know, like
that's when you're there, is, really.
and you know, I wouldn't, you know, I would never think. You know, it was just like drummed into you as like you know you're going around someone else's house, you show respect, and you just say please and thank you.
That's a good thing that people come to karate, because sometimes it does show people respect.
Yeah.
Or how it should be presented and how we should do it, because we bow, we acknowledge the person in front of us, and same when we go somewhere else. It's that thing, the respect is lacking, and it can be put back by going to a karate club and training. Exactly the other night, what we're saying about just having a strop. So I took him to one side and says, look, I don't want us to be crossing swords, but you are doing this and you are doing that. Oh, I says, listen to me. No, look at me and listen to me. And his dad come up, or I went over to talk to his dad, and he just went, I know what you're going to say, Bob. He's at that age. At that age of, are you going to keep control over that child, or
just let him run
are you
amok.
not?
Yeah.
And that is a big challenge to parents, you know.
If you could go back and speak to the young Bob Rhodes walking into the dojo for the first time, what would you tell him?
You should have taken up art. I have I'll mention it now. I have a passion for antiques. I like restoring them more than anything else. I like the excitement of going out and finding it. A bit like karate's, the excitement of getting students in and thinking, are they going to be good or not? Are you going to shape them into that? Same with a bit of antiques, like, are you going to find a good antique? I like restoring things, so if there's a little bit of damage there, make it right. And that's a passion of mine. It's looking. We're always looking in karate for good students. And I have another side that I go out there, wherever I go, if there's an antique shop there, I'm going to call in and look in.
And in like antiques, have you found some gems like is in karate?
Oh, yeah. I found loads of them. I found loads of in karate as well. I have an eye. Did anybody watch Lovejoy?
I do. I mean, I do remember it. I do remember it.
Even though it was a program, it had such good things in about the knowledge of antiques and such like that. Is that I love that program, and I feel like sometimes, I mean, Debbie will tell you more than me. I sort of look around and I go, oh, yeah, I like that. Oh, there's something at the back of my head, because I've been doing it for about 20 odd years, 30 years. And 9 times out of 10, it turns out quite good. Well, I've never had anything in the thousands. I wish I had. But it turns over, you know.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And I would imagine if you run a squad, is that you'd be doing exactly the same thing. You'd be looking for them little gems out of who you're going to have in the main team or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Instinct.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
From me, I'm going to pass you over to Andy now, because we always finish the podcast with he just has a few
just quick fire questions.
quick fire questions. Don't read too much in. Don't read too much into them. They're very.
Your answer's your answer, Sensei. That's it. So, but just finally on the antiques thing, weren't you on? Were you on Bargain Hunt or something?
Oh, I've been on there 2 or 3 times.
I thought you had.
Yeah.
So I just remember my dad telling me that he was sat watching TV at work, and he's like, "That's Bob Rhodes Sensei," like pointing, getting animated.
And they always come up to me and go, "Can you do it a bit cheaper?" No. You've got a price. You asked a price. You've got a price. There you go.
Okay, here we go. So, first question: favorite technique to use in Kumite?
Oh, I thought the other day, Gakuzuki and Ashibarai.
Favorite kata?
All.
Wow. Fair enough.
Well, it's
yeah.
how you feel doing it, you know.
Yeah. Do you have a particular kata?
All right.
Which? Okay, go on then.
Because it's varied. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Basai down with a brown belt, Kankadai when a showdown. Goju-Shio.
Okay. Do you have a particular kata for
My
bunkai?
particular kata for bunkai or like that is ungetsu.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting.
That's the first one for Hangetsu.
That's the first.
Nobody likes the kata.
Oh.
But I love it for its bunkai.
Yeah.
I really do. It's got things in there that you don't normally do, you know. There you go.
Brilliant. Best male competitor of any era, if you could pick one.
Best male competitor, probably Frank.
Okay.
But best male kata, Sean.
Sean Roberts, yeah.
Sean Roberts.
Fair enough. Again, best female competitor to any era.
Any era.
Absolutely any era. Past, present.
All rounder, probably. Ollie Sterling, probably.
Ollie Sterling.
Okay.
But there's, I knew you were going to ask these questions. And I was gonna go.
Okay.
But the thing is, time and place is you're only a best competitor for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is that a lot of it's, not a lot of it, but part of it is good fortune.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
On the day. So, not an Arnold Schwarzenegger, once you're a world champion, you're a world champion forever. You're a world champion for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it's true. It's true. And people forget that, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it had been another
true.
day, you probably wouldn't have won or something like that. Don't know.
I agree.
So when you ask that question, it's all a variation, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. If you could pick a 5-person Kumite team, who would it be?
Again, it's like being on the All-Styles, you know. You've got Brian Fitkin, you've got Tiki Donovan in his prime, you've got Eugene Codrington, Ronnie Christopher, George Best, Alwyn Hall.
That's like a squad.
You've exceeded the 5 there, Sensei.
You can go on forevermore,
Yeah.
But then again, being involved with Europeans and world competitions, there's people on there, I can't even remember the names, but absolutely out of the world,
Yeah. Team Kata, 3-person.
Sean Roberts,
Yeah.
Frank Brennan. And for statue only, and obviously technique, Jack Summers.
Oh, Jack Summers,
Okay. Your greatest karate achievement, if you could pick one?
Starting.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I thought, we can give it that, lads. I didn't know if we were going to
Walking into the dojo.
Well,
or after the Wednesday, should I say?
Yeah.
After the Wednesday, yeah. I've never looked. As I say, when I all through my karate, I've never put myself in front of anything. So if I had the list in front of me, I couldn't even say to you, "Look, that's a big list." But was it a great time? No, because I was just there to do what I do.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to say, was I good on that day or was I not good on that day? Should have done this, should have done that. Who knows?
Yeah. The instructor who has had the lasting effect on you.
Again, Rhodes Sensei is the one because of a personal contact with him, over the years. Did talk about getting old and this and the other and how we should feel about it. So he was a guideline in many ways. So he's obviously...
Yeah, I did think that because you alluded to that earlier.
But, you know, there are other people out there who inspired me as well. Through going down to Crystal Palace or, you know, the Japanese instructors we had at this club in the early days it's an era what never will be repeated.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we had in a year, we had 4 Crystal Palaces every year.
Yeah.
Because we had them down for a week each time, 4 times a year.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite karate moment at all?
Favourite
karate moment?
Yeah, last 60 years.
It's fair enough, yeah. It's fair enough, yeah. The hardest grading you've ever done?
Well, again, we're getting down to what effort you put into grading. So
yeah.
They've all been hard gradings. Probably, you know, as you go higher up, you get less to do. I shouldn't really say that, but you do. They've all been easy and hard. They've all been easy because I've understood what I've been asked to do. And the hard part is, for me, doing it exactly how I want to do it. So they're all hard grading.
That's fair enough, yeah. Do you have a student in your club who makes you laugh at all?
Laugh?
Yeah.
Laugh?
Oh, I'm trying to break a myth here, Sensei.
I have had a laugh. I have had a laugh. Now, there's people who do stuff and it just creases me sometimes. But I've got to look the other way when I'm laughing. You know.
Yeah.
Laugh.
I'm sure over the years, Sensei, there's been one student, a student that maybe chuckled you a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
You can remember.
Yeah.
We had... got one for you.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I probably had loads, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, this he was Middle Eastern chappie, and his lad come down, and the father, every time you go left leg forward, get him right, he'd put his right. He could guarantee he was going to put his opposite leg forward, right leg. And you know, left. Every time you come down, left, you know. I think he got to about red belt and left. But one night, this really made me laugh. One night, I'm late and he's late. So we're both in changing room together and somebody else is taking warm-up. And I look round and he was in obviously got his suit and belt and this, that, and the other. He's getting changed. I look round and I noticed before he stripped off to put his suit on, he got Wellingtons on.
All right.
Okay. Right? So it must have been Bill's side. Yeah. These Wellingtons had R and L. So I turned round to him and says, keep your Wellingtons on. And then you'll know what right and left is.
So I think, judging by, I can see a coffee right in front of me. Are you tea or coffee? Coffee man?
I used to be a tea man at one time. I wouldn't touch coffee, and then now I'm a coffee man and I don't touch tea. But
any particular brand of coffee, or?
No, not really.
No, fair enough.
Something that's...
As long as it gives you the caffeine buzz, I guess. Yeah.
What is it? Nest?
Nescafe.
Extra blends.
Yeah, it's a good brand.
If they want to sponsor the podcast, please feel free
please
to
do.
get in touch. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite post-training meal at all?
Post-training
Yeah.
meals are all the same to me. There's two ways of looking at a meal. One, I get excellent meals now. I've got to say that.
Yeah.
I get
I think it's
excellent
best.
meals, right? Two is, there's two types of people. You either eat to live or live to eat.
Mm.
And I eat to live. So it's nice to have good food in front of me, but I will eat it.
Yeah.
Post-training, it's very rarely that I'll have something to eat. I'll have something at same training in the evening. I'll have something at dinner, or around 12, 1-ish.
Yeah.
And then wait until we have a little snack when we come home.
Fair enough. And finally, if you weren't a karate instructor, what do you think you'd be doing?
Artist.
Wow.
Two things I excelled at school was athletics or sport, whatever you want, and art. I went to art, when I left school, I used to do paintings at home, and one of my uncles says, look, and he worked at art college in Leeds. He says, I'm going to get you to go down there and sign on as an apprentice. And I went down and like a lot of things, start from the beginning. And I've been doing art for quite a few years at school and at home and that. And I wasn't getting anywhere. I wanted to do commercial art. And I was like, the thing was, I was 17 and the people who were joining at that time were 15, 14, 15. So I was doing their work instead of doing the 17-year-old's work, which put me off a lot. Because 9 times out of 10 I'd get my subject done and I was waiting for them. And no, can't do it. But I would have liked to. I love art.
Do you do any painting or anything like that now?
No. When I lived down, I had more time, I suppose, when I lived down south in Torbay. I went to a night class twice a week for live study. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Really enjoyed it. Saw a few pictures. So, yeah, I love art. And I think that probably gets me onto, like, the antiques part of life and that.
I was just about to say, you get a kick out of the antique side and restoring that.
Yeah, that's an art form, I love it,
Well, I want to thank you ever so much for being on the podcast, Sensei.
Really, it's okay.
Brilliant to have you.
Pleasure for being here to vent my view.
That's good.
I'm sure people will hopefully see a different side to me. It may be bad or it might be good. I don't know. Ben News listening.
Well, thank you ever so much,
Thank
Sensei.
you.
Okay.
Sensei.
Thank you very much.